reading this character sheet. So just you proceed, and I will be catching up.
All right, sounds good. All right, hello and welcome everybody to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We have an all-star cast tonight. Oscar's going to be running us through a game of Cthulhu Invictus. It's a brand new scenario, just finished this morning, so we're excited to get a chance to play test this.
Ink
I'll kick it over
dry.
to Oscar. I'm going to kick it over to you so you can give a description of the scenario, and then we'll introduce all the players.
Okay, the name of the scenario is Devil in Wolf's Clothing. It takes place in the city of Deva, which will one day become Chester, I believe. It is in Western England on the Irish Sea. It is a major naval port and army base for the 20th Legion. The 20th Legion currently is not here. They're doing maintenance on Hadrian and the Antonine Wall in the north. The investigators are going to be asked to look into the matter of a very wealthy local man's missing wife.
Just another excuse for not paying his taxes.
Should we let everybody introduce themselves, or do you want to introduce them?
Oh, everybody can introduce themselves. We want to start with you, Sean.
Sure. I'm Sean Branney from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. Been a Cthulhu geek for years and years and decades and etc.
Oh, and who are you playing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's me. But I'm playing Calvina Evodelia, a fabulous up-and-coming entertainer, master juggler, very good dancer, incredibly attractive, charming. This might be thrown off by looking at my picture on the screen here, but that's who I am. I'm young and beautiful and female.
We believe you.
Wait till you see me dance.
Right.
I have no doubt that we will all be taken in.
All right, Scott, why don't you follow that up?
So I am playing. My name is Scott Glancy. I am one of the writers of Delta Green and a Call of Cthulhu player and a deep lover of this role-playing game system since 1983 maybe or something.
We're all old nerds. We get it. Move along.
Was introduced to Call of Cthulhu when somebody decided to throw the mythos into a traveler game. You know, how's that for showing my dusty props? Today, let's see here. I will be playing Laurenius Vindiorix, a tax collector, essentially, a publican, a member of the equestrian class whose job it is. I have signed up. Essentially, tax collection works where I have signed up to ensure that X amount of sesteri show up in the imperial coffers every year. If I do not collect that amount of sesteri, I pay the shortfall. So it's essentially it's kind of gangstery. It's very
Booker. You're a bookie.
Yeah.
You're a bookie for the Empire.
Yes, and at the moment I failed to I didn't short the Empire, so I could owe a lot of denarii and sesteri. So I am somebody with a fairly well-to-do by comparison to some of the surrounding world, with owning slaves, having bodyguards, having thugs to encourage people to pay their fair share.
But not today.
But not today. I don't know, man. We may end up boarding the house up if this goes completely pear-shaped. We just hunker down in our bunker and hope that.
All right,
so yeah, that's what
Hi, I'm Mike Mason from Chaosium. I do a bit of Cthulhu stuff here and there, and I've been doing it for quite a while too. I'm playing Menad the Mighty, a gladiator, and handsome apparently. So just yeah, as you can see, just like Sean, I'm just like my character. Yeah, that's it. Ready to go.
Cool. And Jeff?
Hi, I'm Jeff Moeller. I'm an editor at Golden Goblin Press currently. I've been playing Call of Cthulhu since the early 1980s. And today I am playing Sabina of Cordoba, who is a 19-year-old bathhouse attendant who makes some coin on the side, informing on people who don't pay their taxes. I hear lots of things.
That's fair. All right. And of course, you've got me as usual. You guys know my story, but I will be playing Courteous Fronto. He is a surgeon from the equestrian class. So hopefully I'll be able to keep this party alive.
I look forward to the time you have to drill a hole in one of our heads. That's that's just inevitable, I think.
Sooner rather than later.
Do
Okay.
it prophylactically and let's get it out of the way.
Okay, just for entertainment's sake, I'm going to ask Mike to drop a 12.
Drop a 12.
Just drop a 12.
Roll a
What do you
12-sided
mean?
die.
Oh, of all the dice I never bow out, it's a 12. when do you use a D12?
Today! Now!
Okay. I happen to have one. Handily spare. Okay. It's a 2.
Okay, we are going to say that this takes place in the month of February.
Oh, only the prettiest month in all of England.
Looks like rain.
Do you want to burn any luck to change the month to like April?
Well, on the plus side, it'll slow the serpentmen down. They'll be sluggish, I suppose.
All right, we're going to say it is a chilly, rainy day. And
People are bored in February and they spend all their money. February's great.
okay,
Oh,
so
bathhouse attendant? Yes,
Yeah.
everyone's coming in for the water. Absolutely.
Yeah.
okay, so you are, I guess, wintering in Deva. You've got some friends here who've put you up. We're going to say that the tax collector's house is being renovated, so he's staying with friends, and you're all kind of in the city. Calvina is fabulously wealthy and has rented a house, and you all are staying there with her. When you get a message through a friend of a friend that they have someone who needs a job done very quickly, very quietly, and they're willing to pay top coin. And they need someone who can get into low places, just in case that goes there.
They came to us.
Well, technically, you have a bathhouse attendant who's a little bit higher in status than a slave. A gladiator.
I have 5 status
gladiator
points.
who's-
Thank you very much.
5 and Calvina
Positive
and Menad.
5.
Calvina and Menad, who are both infamous. So, you know,
Yeah.
you guys are not a very highly regarded group, which is funny because 2 of you are really wealthy, but there you go. So they ask if you don't have anything else to do, if you would go to the house of Felix Hathius.
Lucky Hathius.
Lucky Hathius.
What do we know about this Felix Hathius? What's the word on the street?
Give me an INT check and I can tell you some stuff.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to say that everyone making this roll except Scott has a penalty dice. Scott is native to this region.
I have a 10.
Oh, you hear lots of things, Sabina.
That's my
99.
job to hear lots of things.
All right.
I managed to roll a 9.
Oh, so critical successes all around.
No, mine was
Hathius is-
99.
Oh,
You're not even you think that this is a gaslight game. You're like, where am
We're
I?
sure this is
How did I
legit.
wind up in ancient Rome? Okay, this is what you know about Felix or Lucky Hathius. He is very wealthy, and he keeps a low profile and is rather private about his personal life. He has made his money through laundry. He owns most of the laundries in this city. A lot of people because laundry is based on urine. But as a emperor once said, money doesn't stink. He is a dangerous enemy to make. While he was consolidating his hold on the laundries, he drove several other rivals into poverty, some of which who have left town. He's married to his third wife.
I think we lost Oscar.
You just dropped out, Oscar.
Just around third wife.
Nope.
Nope.
Still.
You're marked as muted.
Hello?
Now you're not
yeah.
marked as muted. You had a mute. Yeah, you get a mute
okay.
symbol.
Okay, third wife who is wealthy and from France.
Gaul.
Oscar,
You muted yourself again. Your mute thing is on again. Right after I complained about Gaul. The Gaul you have of calling France Gaul. Or Gaul France.
You're still muted.
You're still muted, dude.
All right.
There you go.
I think I should be fine. Yeah, my wire was coming loose. It wasn't muting. It was just kind of coming out.
All right.
Okay, he's on his third wife. He divorced the second one. Yeah, the girl from France is his third wife. The first died delivering their third child. The second one he divorced, but they're still on good terms. She does not live in this city. His new wife is Trupilla, who is much younger, and rumor has it they do not get along well.
How old is this guy?
He's about 50.
Typical.
Well, he's pushing the actuarial tables, that's for sure.
Well, the average married couple in ancient Rome was a 30-year-old man and a 13-year-old girl, so he's fine. That ratio may be not fine, but I'm not responsible for the history. His business rival is a man named Dominus Galla. Galla's the guy who left town in basically rags. He actually has he's running laundries one city over, and I'm going to get this wrong, Mancusium. So he's rebuilt his fortune, and he has publicly sworn revenge on his former rival. And that's, with those roles, that's everything there is to know about Lucky Happies.
Okay.
Do we know anything about her? Have I seen her around?
Give me another roll.
People always just talk in front of me. 24.
That's a hard success. So, yes, you do know quite a bit about Trupilla.
What do I know?
She hates her husband and talks bad about him, which is why they seldom let her out of the villa.
Oh. Not even the bathe? Barbarians.
I think they're wealthy enough to have a bath. She's at war with her daughter-in-law, Hathia Felicia. They're about the same age. And she has been heard saying that her new husband cannot satisfy her sexual appetites. There are There's rumors that she's planning to leave her husband. There are counter rumors that he's planning to divorce her because she's barren. They've been married for 3 years and she's not given him a child. There are rumors that her father, Gertha, sent her to Britannia to be exiled for having an affair with a married man who was a business associate. These are just rumors, mind you.
Rumors, pure rumors.
And that's all you've heard.
Okay.
That is some good dirt.
Yeah. So, and she's missing, is she? Well, I guess we better go talk to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I do an awful lot of laundry because I have an awful lot of clothing. Do I have a
no? You have
business
people.
relationship with him? I have my
people do your
business in
laundry.
his laundry.
You have
Right,
never
right.
touched a bit of dirty laundry in your life.
Oh no, I soil the clothes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just know they come back clean somehow. It's a mystery.
let us pray that this knowledge is something that never tarnishes your beautiful mind.
I'm going to say that none of you personally know him because in the way he's written, he's a very private person. So he does not have a lot of close friends out of the business associates.
No friends, just potential enemies.
So you go over and you are greeted by one of his many slaves who brings you guys all in through a side entrance discreetly.
That's never happened to the tax collector or the bathhouse attendant before.
Never happened to the
but it happened
either.
it happened to the actress and the gladiator all the time.
They're very used to it.
I usually go out the side entrance going home very early in the morning.
All right. Where does he meet us?
That two of you are infamous is going to have an effect, and it'll be a good effect sometimes, but not getting in the front door. So you're taken to his garden where you are offered glasses of wine while you wait. A slave comes by and says, I'm sorry, he's delayed in the meeting. He'll be here shortly. My name is Rebecca, and I'm here to entertain you with some poems if you wish. If you don't wish, I can leave.
I asked her about her mistress. Has she been about of late?
Her eyes glaze over, and she just slowly smiles and says, I've mastered many of the poems from Greece, but those are not matters that it would not...
You dare not speak of such things. How about a poem, then?
So she tells poems for a few minutes until he comes in and just waves her away, and she seems relieved. And he says, welcome, I'm Felix Hathius. Thank you for coming. You come very highly recommended. And he asks, he asks you guys to introduce yourselves, so...
Where is he? Come on. Where is he?
Come on. He knows who we are, so he wouldn't have asked for us. So the introduction is merely I don't give him my CV. I just do the appropriate formal greeting in a business setting. I'm not sure what that would be in Roman culture, but I give him whatever the formal bow is, like
Gotcha.
in Japan.
Okay, that's appropriate. So after...
As you say, I think Courteous would do the same thing. Come in as professional. It'd be like a greasing of the palms, right? So as you go to meet people, you'd bring a gift or coin or something like that. Wouldn't that be part of the
No,
structure?
not at this level.
Okay, all right.
So, but after he greets each one of you and you introduce yourselves, he says, "So this matter, I trust you've been informed of the basics. That my wife has gone missing, and I'd like her found and returned home."
When is it that she had gone missing?
Actually, I do have a preliminary question before that.
Go ahead.
Why do you want to have her found?
That's a fair question. Her father and I are old friends. She is not my ideal choice, but she is here as a favor to her father.
Okay. I am going to be working insight rolls on just about everything he says.
Well, roll them.
Wow. An amazing level of insight that I have, and I fail the roll. So, whoopsie daisy on that one. Seems like he's being square with me.
Okay, so he says, "I will tell you."
Oh, and how do you want to do insight for like one roll for his whole pitch, or one roll per question? How do you want to do that?
If you want specifics on a statement, roll at that moment.
Okay.
If you want a general sense of he was hiding something during that conversation, you can wait until the end.
Okay. Those both will happen. Let's go. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. No, it's good to establish that. So he explains, look, my wife is young. She's spoiled. She's not my ideal choice, but she's the daughter of a friend. I agreed to stay married to her, to keep her in Britannia for 5 years. Other than after that, like we're gonna divorce, and she's gonna go back home to her father. Her leaving in this matter, if she did leave, would embarrass both myself and her father. So I don't think that she'd go that far in her rebelliousness. I am fairly certain that Dominicus Gala has managed to snatch her somehow. He's lost many businesses to me. He tried to crush me, and I turned the tables on him. He's sworn revenge ever since. He's been rebuilding his fortunes, and now I think this is his time to strike out at me, to embarrass me. And if there is a weak link in my household, it is my young wife, Trupella.
Are you suggesting that he lured her, or that he abducted her?
That's for all of you to find out. He goes, but I need her back in quietly before it becomes public knowledge that she's missing.
If you wanted her back quietly, you probably shouldn't have hired player characters.
How long has she been gone for?
She wasn't at breakfast, and her slaves are saying that they went in to check on her in the morning, and she was gone.
What time is it now?
Rome is a society that gets up at dawn. It's probably about 9 a.m.
All right, but
She's
you've
been
searched.
missing 3 hours? Did I misunderstand? Or
Yeah, she's only been missing a short time that we know of, that he's fessing up to.
Can I make an insight check on that then?
Go right ahead.
77. Nope, missed it. Seems legit.
I would like to turn up the charm on him a little bit to do my best to convince him that we are the most able and capable people we have to handle this matter imaginable.
Roll charm.
Oh dear. 100.
Wow! Wow!
We're the worst.
Would you like to push that roll?
I'm the most charmless and offensive. Boy.
What you end up saying is,
I said this all wrong.
you're like we are mildly trained semi-professionals, and he just stares at you for a moment, like if you just told the dog a joke, and he just does not get it. And he says, "Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm gonna try and intervene a charm roll and step in front of that, if at all humanly possible."
Oh my god.
Okay, 38 makes it. I attempt to distract from that foobar.
Okay,
It's not a critical success. It's just a base success.
He's relaxed enough to end this meeting, and he says, "I'm sorry, I have a luncheon across town that I need to get to, an urgent business matter. I am willing."
Who's your chief slave in the house?
He goes, "I'm not trusting a slave to this. You'll be reporting to my daughter, Hathia Felicia.
Is she here?
She's staying with me while her husband is north. He's a prefect with the 20th.
Isn't Hathia's relationship with your wife, shall we say, rocky?
No, for what I know, they get along quite well."
Insight.
Might we have a word with her?
I fail my insight roll. It's my highest skill.
Says, "Yes, she'll be at your disposal to deal with this matter. I'll have her sent in I'll have her sent in shortly." He says again, "I'm willing to pay quite well. I have a apartment in Londinum I never use. It was my second wife's. I don't use it. I'm willing to hand over the deed to all of you. You can sell the property forever you like. Keep it. I don't care.
Timeshare.
Of course.
Sounds good.
Of course he doesn't pay cash. He pays
All right.
property.
So,
Actually, the property is probably worth quite a bit.
No, I if we can get someone to buy it, you know. Has what's her name burned Londinium to the ground yet, or is that in our future?
The Boudiccan revolt takes place in about 68. This game's taken place in about 145.
Okay, so
the city's been completely rebuilt at this point.
And burned again, and hit with a plague, and built again by this point.
Of course.
And then restored, and then bombed by Zeppelins, and then
It's a never-ending cycle.
By Stukas, you know, and currently on lockdown for coronavirus.
yeah.
Well, perhaps we could have a
can
word
we,
with the daughter once
Yeah.
once the old man is done.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Moeller, did you have a question for this guy before he flees?
No, I want to see. I just want to get. We're not going to get anything from this guy. I mean, I want to talk to the slaves. They're the ones who know what are going on.
Okay, as soon as he goes in, his daughter enters. She has a slave with her who's carrying an infant. She looks annoyed.
The slave or the daughter?
The
Or
daughter.
the infant.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
All three.
The infant's asleep. And she says, "Good morning. You are the group hired to go after my stepmother."
We are the pros from Dover. Yes, we are.
She checks to make sure that the door is closed and says, "Good. If you could have that little trollop dragged back, it would do her a little bit of good."
So, have you searched the house thoroughly for her?
Of course, the slaves have been through it 3 times. And I've had all of her slaves locked up.
Fair precaution.
Well, she came with them for gold of them.
Okay.
They're her slaves.
But
They're not
you wa-
ours.
She wants to see the daughter come back to get what's coming to her.
Yes. Why should she flee on my father and embarrass him publicly? He says,
Got
"Look,
it.
I am fairly certain she snuck out to meet with someone. I would love nothing more than her adulterous bottom to be dragged through the streets publicly, but that would embarrass my father. But if you can drag her back with evidence of her wrongdoing, perhaps he'd be allowed to divorce her sooner rather than later. Either way."
You don't think this Dominicus is responsible then?
She rolls her eyes and says, "That is an old rivalry that my father is holding on to. I'm sure Dominicus has gone off, rebuilt his fortunes, and never looked back. I hear he's doing quite well."
I made
an insight on that reply to my question.
She does not believe that Dominicus has anything to do with this. She firmly believes that her stepmother snuck out to meet with someone.
I guess the appropriately Roman question might be, have you beaten the slaves to make sure they're not covering for her?
No, we hire people to do that.
Of course.
She just stares flatly at all of you.
Well, then by all means, we have to give these slaves a proper questioning. Where are they held?
Never mind the slaves. What? With your knowledge of her, you think she's snuck out? Where to?
Well, I haven't had the time to have her followed. I don't usually live here.
Yeah, but you know her. What's her interest? Is she Is she at the markets? Is she with a lover? Is she what? You know her. Tell us where you think she is.
I am acquainted with her.
You did say adulteress, so who's she adulting with?
That's for you to find out. If I knew, I would have had people handle it already.
All right, so she has no actual proof of adultery. She's just being grumpy.
Thinking the worst.
Yeah. That's all right. Do we have anything missing from the house in the way of the household's horses, transport?
Would she have had access to money?
Yeah.
Everything was accounted for. What was the question, Calvina?
Money.
Would she have had access to money to take with her?
Oh, yes. She has plenty of her own.
Okay. Well, then,
Her jewelry alone could support her for years.
Well, then let's go check her room for jewelry, money, whatnot. Let's go toss her room.
That was going to be my suggestion.
I'll lead you to her quarters. And would you like me to have her slaves sent in?
Let's toss the room first.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I'd like to crank up
some
the charm on her just so she believes that we're the best friends she might ever have.
Oh, we're going to try this again, aren't we?
Yes. We're going to do a better job this time.
You think?
It can't be worse. It literally can't be worse.
Literally can't. Yes, it literally can't be worse.
All right. 36. Comfortable success there.
Okay. And as you do that, she settles down a little and says, look, I'll be in the hall. Once you're done with the room, just say the word. I'll have the slaves brought in.
Thank you.
All right.
So you are in her room, which is the size of a very large apartment.
Yeah.
It's actually several rooms.
I was about to say it's probably her apartments. Is probably
It's a wing of the villa. So if you wish to search the 4 rooms, give me 4 spot hiddens.
Success.
Fail.
Okay, let me check one of them.
Fail.
You want me to? Oh, you're making 4 spot hiddens each rather than just one set room.
There are 4 rooms here. I'm saying that
So
I
one
need
per
4
room.
success. You're spreading out.
Okay,
You don't have to roll 4 times.
Sorry.
That's 2 successes. 2 successes from me.
Okay, one success from me.
Okay.
2 successes.
2
You
out of
search
4.
the rooms, and there's nothing really missing. There's nothing really here.
What we're looking for is like her jewelry, her clothing. How many sets of
That's
clothing
here.
are taken?
That's here. It does not look
That's
like
all here?
this room. It doesn't. It looks like somebody went. It doesn't look like anyone's fled town. It doesn't look like anybody's packed up. There's plenty of really valuable, very small transportable wealth here that if she was planning to go on the lam, she'd be a fool not to take it.
Nothing around the
I have 2
windows.
things
See if I can. Let me see if I can sleight of hand and grab
things
one
I'd
of
like
those
to look at.
transportable pieces of, value. I don't, so I don't.
Well,
Okay.
we spot you doing it, and it's just a matter
Well,
of.
that might be.
It's just that, you can take it. Just let us know that you took it so that it doesn't become an issue about we think she took it with her later. Okay?
And jot down its taxable
I wasn't
value.
taking it. I was just admiring the artistry and put it back
well,
down.
in that case, I'll take it. It'll be an advance on our
2
taxes.
questions from this end, please. First
Okay.
question.
What do you got?
First question. The windows, are there any signs of breaking, tampering, entering, scuff marks,
Scratches?
ropes going down, things of that nature?
Here's the thing: her wing does not have access to the outside.
Interesting.
Well, that tells me the first thing I was curious about.
Are the windows
The
bricked
second
up?
thing is the boudoir, the wash, birth control, silphium, things of that nature. Look under things. Look behind drawers.
Oh, you find her stash. You find her stash of hemp. You find her stash of opium. You find her silphium pills. You find some dirty literature.
She's a nice, normal girl.
So what you're saying, but we do find birth control. So she's there's a reason why she's not producing air.
You can assume there's a reason she's not producing an heir, but there is control here, a supply of birth control here. Which again, for a woman of her station would not be very uncommon.
Okay. Any sign that the bed's been used for coitus lately? Like there's something going on in the house as opposed to her sneaking out?
That would have been a critical success, but I'm going to say no.
Okay.
The bed.
Okay.
I will actually say, since they slept in it last night, but the covers are all rumpled up.
Yeah, okay. The bed looks slept in from last night.
It looks like it's meant to look like it's been slept in.
Okay.
All right.
And again, one of the things I want to ask about this apartment, I've seen, this is just based on, watching I, Claudius and, other period pieces. How much open access to the sky is there as far as lighting? Or is it all lamps? Because I've seen a number of these things where they have a lot of open sort of skylight things.
It's lamps here. It's lamps.
Okay.
This is the prison wing.
It's also Chester in England, so there ain't no open rooms.
Yeah, it is the prison wing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Raining 90% of the time. There is no holes in the roofs.
Yeah.
Okay. I am thinking Italy, Rome. Yeah. I'm thinking Mediterranean. You're right.
Okay. Shortly after you guys signal that you're ready to move on, a line of 8 slaves are brought into the room. They introduce themselves, and I'm just going to rattle off their names and tell you a little bit about their look. Minu. It is an older woman with a cast of an Arabian cast, and she walks with a cane and has a limp on her right side. There is a large, well-muscled local woman, and Manad instantly recognizes her. Her name is Quineva. She is a retired gladiatrix. There's Elish, who looks like a chubby woman from Lugdunensis. When she gives her name, she stutters. A woman comes in, very young, muscular looking. Her gives her name as Blanid. And her position is she's her mistress is masseuse.
Hey.
Elish is her dresser. There is another young woman with waist-length blonde hair. Also looks like she's from Gaul. Her name is Slane, and she is her mistress's hairdresser. There is a young man. He's probably about 12. He has a gap in his teeth. He is Faraz. There is Vashti, who is the mother of Faraz. She's middle-aged, and she's also Arabian. And she says that she is her mistress's cosmetic slave. And there is a very pretty, well-dressed female dwarf named Minima.
What is her job?
She says, I'm an entertainer. I sing and I juggle.
Do we want to divvy them up? Or do we want to work them all collectively?
We're going to have to address them. We're going to have to split them up and ask them one at a time and see how their stories match. Why do I suspect that intimidation is not going to be super cool on the gladiatrix?
Well,
right.
Menad could go one gladiator to another
Mhm.
come up
Yeah.
that way.
But,
I can also talk to the dwarven juggler, one juggler to another.
Okay. I introduced
All right,
myself.
I will talk to a masseuse, one masseuse to another.
I introduced myself as my official position. I explained that my companions and I are have a very simple task, and that is to return your mistress unharmed to this house. And of course, we would all be very grateful for your cooperation in this manner.
They all shuffle about and look at one another nervously. So you're going to start breaking them up.
Mhm.
All right, Mike, how do you want to go? We'll start with you. How do you want to go at the gladiatrix?
Well, I'm just gonna be as we said, one gladiator to another. I'm not gonna come over all intimidating. I'm just gonna be like, hey, hey, how's it going? And
She says, I've had better days.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we all have. But what's going on with your mistress? Where's she gone?
She says, I don't know. She was here when we put her to bed. When I came in with her body slave in the morning, she was gone.
And she's never done anything like this before, I guess.
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
No, I'm going to make insight. Just is she on the level? I fluffed that. So I don't know.
I am presuming that we're doing this outnumbering the slaves. That it's
I would say that you're bringing them in one by one and all talking to them.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw a wow, my best skill. Yeah, everything this.
Does anyone else want to roll for the bodyguard?
Are we talking to the gladiator?
Yes,
Yes.
you're interviewing the gladiator first.
10 out of 70, so it's extreme.
She is lying. She's lying about the bed check. She's lying about her mistress having never done this, doing anything like this before. You've never been more sure of anything.
So I step up close to Manad and I say,
All right,
she's
let
not
me-
telling the truth.
All right.
Okay. I turn then, I sort of, pause, pace around for a minute or two, then kind of come up to her and give her a full intimidate and say, you're lying and I want to know what's really going on. And I pass my intimidate.
Yeah.
Okay. She stares at you for a minute, and then her lip quivers and her shoulders drop. And she says, they're going to kill me first.
Who is going to kill you?
The master.
Why?
He says it won't. You're to bring her back, right? You're not to.
That's right.
He says then you need to bring her back because I'll tell you what I know.
But
she says she did sneak out. She sneaks out a lot. I usually go with her. I went with her last night. We got a few blocks away, and then she met a man. It's a man that she knew from Gaul. He had a bodyguard with him as well. So my mistress, against my recommendation, sent me back to the house. She said that they would be fine.
This man's name?
She goes, his name's Sita. He's someone that she knew back in France. Minu would be able to tell you more.
Sita. And they're lovers? They're lovers?
I assume they are. He's new. But it's an old friend from the continent. I didn't get a good look at his face, but I got a good look at his bodyguard. He's short, very muscular, dark beard, shaved head, odd accent. Not Greek, not quite Greek.
So do you think she would return on her own in a day or two, or is she as she left?
She's careful. She always comes back. She said, "I'll be back before dawn." She
But
said,
she
"I'll
hasn't
be
been
back
back.
before dawn."
But
No,
she hasn't.
no. I mean,
So
I've
you-
gone
are
out
you-
with
are
her
you-
dozens of times. Always come back.
Are
She's
you
never
afra-
stayed out overnight.
So you're afraid for her? Something's happened to her.
I would say so. I don't think that she would have ran off with him. Not
Is
without
it-
her thing. Not without
And I-
me and Minima, at least.
Okay. And is there anything else you need to tell me? Anything else you're gonna regret not telling me later?
I think that the man she is with is she says Minu and Elish would be able to tell you more. When I told them what she called the man, they seemed very upset.
That is, called him by his name Sita, or did she call him something else?
She called him by his name, Sita. When I came back without her, they said what happened. I described it. They asked who she was. When I said the name Sita, both of them got very upset. I've only been in the mistress's services since she came to Britannia.
Got it. All right.
Okay. Well, just remember,
All right. Well, let's get
we
Nathan in
gladiators
here
don't
then.
lie to her. I'll whisper quietly to her. Gladiators don't lie to one another. I'll let you off this time. Happens again, be bad news. Now be on your way.
Thank you. Have mercy on us. I mean, we didn't plan to get caught up in all of this. She's a very hard mistress to deal with. And she steps out.
Let's bring in Mena. Or Minu.
Minu is this older
Arabian.
woman.
When
She
she
comes
comes
in.
as she's limping, I would like to make a first aid check on her to like kind of put her at ease. Say, oh, notice that you have a cane. Has it been bothering you for long? Let me see if there's anything I can do to try to put her in put us in a position of being able to get something
Okay,
out of
this will be. It's not an injury, so it's going to be a medicine roll.
her. All right, medicine. Fair enough. 41 out of 85.
It's arthritis.
Okay.
She's old.
All right. So he'll like go into his pouch and like pull out a salve that's good for that. And he's apply this twice a day, and
She's at ease, but she saw Quineva's face as she passed her. Did we lose Mike?
I spend my time while other people are talking to her, sort of standing over by the mistress's bed. I just keep eyeballing the rumpled sheets that she may or may not have had a hand in rumpling, in an attempt to see if she, because I don't want to necessarily tell each slave who it was who ratted out. I don't want to just go in and say, "Hey, the gladiator said, blah blah blah, you're a liar." I'd rather come at this as a, crack each egg individually if we possibly can. And one of those things is going to be, this bed hasn't really been slept in, and so on and so forth. So while other people are asking her questions, I'm just going to stand off to the side and see if I can make keep drawing her away from the questions she's being asked by standing next to the guilty
Okay.
thing.
By being so dramatic, I'm going to grant whoever tries to intimidate her or persuade her a bonus dice, because you're intentionally pointing towards something that's making her uneasy.
I'm going to launch a charm offensive to get her to tell us about this man Sita.
Okay. Go ahead.
My charms are slightly
Mina,
not so
please.
charming today. Sorry about that.
All right.
All right.
Everybody is blowing their best.
This obviously, yeah. Well, charm is actually my best stat, so I'm going to sidle up to her and say, "Listen, that obviously hasn't been slept in. We understand that an old friend of hers from Gaul has been seen in town. This is not going to go. This is not going to go well for your mistress if she just simply doesn't come back. None of the possibilities are good. One is she's been abducted and come to harm, and I'm sure you don't want that. Another is that she has run off with this gentleman and done so on your watch, and I'm sure you don't want that. So let us try to do what we can with this situation for the benefit of all. But you have to tell us what you know.
Roll it.
18 out of 55.
Thank goodness. Okay. She immediately starts to cry and says, she's always been spoiled. Her mother spoiled her. It was all I could do. I practically raised her. She doesn't have an ounce of common sense. I told her to stay away from that man. He's no good. He has a very cruel streak. Even back in France, he would only be attracted to women if they were married.
Question: he's a bad man in the accepted and common ways that men are bad, or does he have some exceptionally bad qualities that we should know about?
Yeah.
You did say that he seems to enjoy wrecking homes.
He also enjoys hurting people. One of our staff was taken by him in a rather rough manner against her will, and we covered it up so that mistress would not punish the slave
for getting raped. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 1st and 2nd centuries. Yay!
He was quite brutal with her. He has a very cruel streak, this man. But again, some women find that attractive, and he does quite well with other men's wives. He did not show this much interest in her.
Yeah,
I was not aware until last night that he was in Britannia. He lives in Luxenensis.
Are you aware of anybody he knows here in this city besides your mistress?
Sir, my mistress was sent here because she didn't know anyone.
Okay. I'm wondering what the...
What about this fellow he was seen with? Describe him, this little short, bearded, bald,
muscly guy,
pocket battleship type.
That's his bodyguard. We saw him around. He's been in citizen service for many, many years. I don't remember his name, but he's Phoenician. He's very good at what he does. There have been many attempts on that man's life, and if the bodyguard was not good at what he did, the sitter would have been dead long ago.
I'm assuming outraged husbands and overthrown wives he's dumped in his wake may have sent professionals, or at least people who were paid.
I believe so. He is not well liked.
When it comes to public accommodation in this city, I'm not sure how this works as far as inns, taverns, guest houses. What's the situation in this city as far as public accommodation for this guy to have been in the city?
For public accommodations in ancient Rome, there are no such things as really like long-term hotels, or there'll be rooming houses above taverns. You can rent a room from someone. Usually when you travel and stay with people, you're staying with friends of friends.
Exactly. Okay.
So trying to find out where this guy was staying in a city this size would be no simple task.
Okay. We won't just be calling the concierges on the phone. This guy, equestrian?
Yes.
Okay.
And when did she learn he was here?
Madam, I did not know she knew he was here. We knew that she was meeting with someone. Had I known it was Sitta, I would have tried to convince her to find other distraction.
Oh, that's very decent of you.
How would a request to meet with a woman who basically lives in a closed wing of a villa have been gotten to her? Who would have delivered it?
We have a messenger, but messages come to the house all the time.
They're not, and her messages aren't screened by her husband's staff.
No, she has many friends and family in Britannia. She in Gaul. She receives notices all the time.
Okay.
Would it be
Where
a
is this lovely
status
and
check?
talented young messenger?
He's my grandson. I'll have him brought in, but he would not have read any messages he brought to the mistress. She's very. Once some things were read and he was bad.
Want to know where it came from?
Well, I'm impressed they can read.
Delivered to the door. Well, mistress insists we all can read.
Would it be a status check or maybe an empire check to see, since he's also of the equestrian class, like maybe some, who he would associate with potentially in the city?
In a city this size, that could be dozens and dozens of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
However,
So you do question the messenger, and he says it was that he didn't get any. He just got the daily dispatches that came from Gaul. They come once a week. Once a couple times a month. If she got a message from someone, they must have been speaking at that through there. But he says he doesn't open her mail.
Let me confirm something here. Felix's family here, these guys are rich, but they're not patricians. They're just extremely
they're
wealthy.
equestrians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're living like patricians, but they are self-made.
They're self-made. Patricians would have their money in farming and real estate. He actually has his money through business, which is the hallmark of the equestrian status.
Okay.
He owns laundry. He owns a string of laundry.
Okay. Just making sure if they're just checking on sort of the class differences in this scenario. This guy Sid is also not a patrician, so he doesn't move in those circles. So that's fine. I'm just sort of trying to narrow our search to where this guy would be hanging out.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that if we can't backtrack the message,
does the message still exist? Where is it?
Yeah, first, does the message still exist? But second, typically, if this guy is an infamous schnook and doesn't want anybody to know he's in town, he probably would have tasked the job of finding accommodations to his people. So where would a Phoenician go in Deva to, find a quiet place to hole up? And a rich prick of a Gaul,
mm-hmm. That's going to be hard to find. But a stocky, bald Phoenician in Deva, that will be easier to find. Because that's a person that would definitely stand out. Where would he go? Where the master would send him.
Yeah. Well, that would be a good job for the tax collector. Those damn Phoenicians never pay their taxes.
Or I could send out someone from my house to ask about.
To speak in theories.
Well, Scott, you do have good connections with the local Vigilis.
Well, let's start with that once we get out of here. That'll be one of our first stops once we're done with these slaves. Now, again, we're not talking. The actual message itself does not physically exist anymore. Is that what we're hearing?
The menu says that mistress burns anything that arrives from her lovers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I go ahead and check.
I'm the one who insisted she start doing that, so she wouldn't have. If she was going to be reckless, at least be smart about it.
I go ahead and poke at the hearth. Where did she burn it? Is there anything left of it?
There is nothing left.
All right. right.
We ready to move to the next slave?
So
We are. I mean,
one
we're
last
hanging around here.
who was the sorry.
I was just saying.
One
it's
last
all
question.
fine.
Who was the
Quest-
slave that had something prior to do with this guy?
That would be Elish, the
Oh dear.
young chubby one who stutters.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But I think you've kind of gotten everything you need from this crew.
All right. Go ahead and send in your grandson. Maybe we can find out where he picked the message up from.
Again, he picked it up from the pack of dispatches that came twice a
Okay.
month.
Okay. So he got it from the front
Came in
door.
the
It wasn't a matter of him bringing it to the house
No,
himself.
no.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, you had something
So-
too.
I was going to say if we've got everything from this bunch that we're going to get, should we be while we're doing that even should we be getting someone to go and ask around if they've seen this Phoenician? What other they're going in theory. So can we get word to someone to go and start asking some questions. Where can we get some sightings of the Phoenician?
Sorry, little cat disturbance. Hold on while you guys do all that.
Okay,
So
so
this is a
Mike, you want to send out someone to see if
Calvina was saying her people.
If I could send out people from my household to go ask about visiting Phoenicians in town and if they might be able to.
well, they
sniff
would have
out.
they would have almost certainly have put in it. Well, even if it is February, but they still most likely would have put in at the port. I mean, they're not going to be driving across. And not likely in February anyway, driving across Britannia from Gaul on a wagon.
Okay,
Because this is February.
So Calvina, you're going to send out people to just ask around if anyone's heard anything about a Phoenician. I'm going to ask you to make a luck check on that. While you're waiting for that, Minu comes over and says, "What are you going to tell her husband's daughter?"
My luck check was successful.
Okay, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
She says, I have people to protect. My daughter and my grandson are among us. We did not wish to be part of a scandal. But
I'm going to crank up the charm again to let her know that we are the best friends she could ever have, incredibly discreet, and really it's good to know us, and we'll take good care of her.
well, she says, but what are you going to tell his daughter?
Nothing. It's a
We've
need-to-know
been here
basis. I
like
don't think
half an
the daughter
hour.
needs to know. Yeah.
Yeah, just that his
Tell her nothing.
wife
We've
is
not
still
finished
missing.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not finished. It's an investigation. Our policy is
She
not
seems
to
relieved
discuss.
and
Oh,
thanks you. And as soon as you guys come out, the daughter says, "So what have you learned?"
Nothing concrete yet. We still have a few other people we need to talk to and other avenues to explore.
Luckily, I roll a 79 on her insight.
It's not
So
a good
she
day.
said-
Not a good day for insight.
So she says, "Well, then you best get on with it. Should I keep them all on lockdown?"
Yes.
Beat them a little extra for us.
All right.
You are charming.
Okay.
Just a little.
You made your luck check, and she said, and one of your servants delivers a message. A madman was arrested for attacking two vigilantes last night. Reports are that he was bald, stocky, and foreign.
Well, let's go check on the watch and see what if they've still got this guy in the dungeon, Goal prison, whatever we have around here.
Clink.
Okay, so the vigilantes are the firefighters and police. They live in state-run barracks that can be quite nice. So you have accommodations and a salary. A lot of these places will have their own hospital, their own library, their own bathhouse. So it's almost like a little mini base for the fire police department.
Yeah, I understand that their job is primarily to spot a fire at night as opposed to stop crime in the street.
But they're in charge of both.
Yeah. Well, since their digs are paid for by the taxes I collect, hopefully I've collected enough taxes so that their digs are nice enough that they're going to be well disposed towards me.
Okay, make a status check.
That's probably making it because it's an 18, but let me look at my character sheet.
Oh no, it's 52, I think.
Yeah, I think it was I thought it was pretty high.
Okay, they actually like you a lot.
Yes.
You've made some good deals for them, so you all head over to the Vigilis ward, the Vigilis base, and you are met by Principalis Messasor. Well, no, not him first. Hold on. Tribune Boris Varro. He's one of the 5 commanders of the Vigilis in Deva. And he goes, and he's like, good morning. Or is it almost noon? He looks at the sun.
Well,
what can I do for all of you? And he's like, in such great company. He goes, Menad the Mighty. He goes, it's an honor, sir. I saw you. He says, I saw you fight in Britannia in some town.
Yeah, you got fans everywhere, Menad.
Mike, you're muted.
There you go.
It's all right.
Okay, Calvino also roll status.
I fight everywhere. Wherever I'm asked.
Oh, just under.
Okay, he does not recognize you. But he says, so he just kind of nerds. He's more of a wrestling fan than the theater.
Yeah. His law.
Naturally.
And he says, so what can I do for you?
We understand that you've got a guest from last night, some Phoenician who's been thrown in a cell.
Oh, he's not in a cell. He's in the infirmary. Getting quite crowded in there. We're having I wish we could tell. I says, I wish I knew.
We were wondering if we could take a few minutes to speak with this Phoenician.
I don't know what you'll learn. He's a little out of his mind. We're trying to figure out what nearly killed him, but he hasn't been much of a help. Hasn't been much help in that matter. We're pretty short-staffed.
It wasn't your Vigilis? I heard he attacked your Vigilis. I assumed he was in the infirmary because your men put him there.
No, my men couldn't cause wounds like that. I'm not sure what could cause wounds like that.
Oh, goody.
Well, that's definitely a job for Fronto.
Yeah, I shake my bag and I say, "Well, let's have a look and see what he looks like."
Lead the way, Courteous.
I said, "Are you a doctor, sir?"
Yeah, I am a surgeon.
We can use every hand. We've got a dozen sick men in the infirmary.
Yes, I will set about it.
Whoa.
He goes, Minerva be praised. This couldn't come at a better time.
I will do what I can.
He says, hold on, let me get someone for you. And he summons a younger officer who is Principalis Messorius Florus. And he is a Vigilis with medical training.
All right.
And he seems a little bit tired and overwhelmed as he comes out to meet you. And he goes, Sabina, go ahead. Jeff, finish your question.
Oh, so I asked, has there been a lot of illness going about? I haven't heard anything about this, have I?
We just had nearly a dozen men come in over the last 2 days.
With what?
He says, well, we rightly don't know. It's a strange illness that we're trying to get a handle on. And he says, maybe, sir, maybe you would know. And as he walks you across the base to the infirmary, he says, we've got a dozen men, a mix of sailors and soldiers. We're keeping them here in case they're contagious, so they don't infect more people in their units.
Hmm.
We've got sudden shifts between feeling very vigorous and incredibly weak and tired. They are having waves of dizziness, nausea, some vomiting, but it's coming in waves. They're sweaty, feeling very hot, feeling very cold. When they do sleep, they awake screaming. When asked why, they said they were having nightmares. When you ask what the nightmare's about, they say they don't remember. Some of them say that everything seems really loud and that there are like really strong, none of us can smell it or hear it, or they have strong hearts and their pressure is acceptable. So we're
Have you
not
bled them yet?
we've tried everything. He says that none of them seem to be at risk of dying, and bleeding is medieval.
Oh, yeah.
The Romans had better medicine than
Put your leeches away.
Yes, yeah, of course. We're gonna start by drilling holes in their heads. That's completely.
and they have
Something helpful.
and a few of them have broken out in very strange rashes, some kind of sensitivity to metal on their skin.
Interesting. Can I make a medicine check? Does this sound like poisoning? Does this sound like
Go ahead.
anything that? Yeah. Right. Oh, 19 out of 85.
You go, it sounds like poisoning. He goes, we've ruled that out. We've asked them what they've been eating. None of them have eaten or drank from the same thing. And then you said, it could be this. And he goes, we've ruled that out too. So he says that I know I may be young for this position, but that's only because all of the older, higher-ranking officers, they're out in town. Apparently, there have been 4 cases of this among some of the wealthiest men in the city.
And when did this start?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Has a new ship come into port? Anything out of the ordinary that you've noticed around the town?
We'd probably have to ask the harbor master.
Nothing so dramatic. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's been quiet. But you're here to speak to the Phoenician.
Correct.
Well, do you know anything about him? We can't even get his name.
I don't believe we have his name either. He's someone that came across in discussions on another matter that we are attending to.
Employed by a man called Sitta, we understand.
Sitta doesn't seem familiar. Well, here we are, and you're brought to the infirmary, and again, you see 12 men lying down, sweating. Some of them appear to sleep, and they're thrashing in their sleep. And it's just this guy caring for these 12 guys because the other doctors are out in town. He goes, these are the victims of whatever illness is going along, but your friend is in the back. We're trying to keep him separated from everyone else to keep them calm.
His symptoms are different?
Oh, quite. It's best you see it. So you're brought over to this man.
By the way, I'm gonna point out, Mike, you still got the mute thing going on your screen.
I think he knows.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Just making sure.
He's just being considerate.
I'm just.
Players, lot of
I
talking.
will just presume from here on out that you were smarter than Oscar.
Give me a second. Okay, he says that, he didn't so much as attack some of our men as run screaming towards them and knock a couple of them down. There was a lot of blood, but all of it was his. He's in pretty bad shape, but he doesn't seem at risk of dying because he would have died already. In fact, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't died yet. When you see this guy, he has blood-soaked bandages on his right arm, and on his left chest there's a band of bandages, and they're just soaked with blood. And you see there's a bucket next to the bed that there have been other sets of bandages that have been collected. They keep changing his bandages.
He just doesn't stop bleeding, does he?
He goes, no, and we've tried everything. We've even tried to cauterize the wound as a last resort, but the scab just sloughed right off the flesh.
Am I having any odd flashbacks to certain problems that I have encountered before?
You might want to roll a Cthulhu Mythos check.
This is sounding vaguely familiar, unfortunately, with my character's backstory.
Holy shit! I rolled an 1 out of 10.
Take
I
that!
did not make it, but I did roll rather low.
Scott, you made it.
I only have an 8, but I rolled an 18. But
No, I did not. I did not roll under 5 for this one. It didn't come up with my character background either.
No.
The player has some suspicions.
Oh,
but
wait
the
a minute. Jeff, your character has specifically
encountered this
so
particular thingy-mabob before.
Yeah, so you confer with Curious Fronto, and you confirm that wounds that won't heal, they are connected with a certain great old one that may or may not have originated in this part of the world.
That's pure speculation and rumor. What a horrible thing to say.
You don't
he
believe.
says that we sent our best doctor south. They're going to call a specialist from Londinum to try and make heads or tails of what's going on with him.
Yeah, there aren't any heads. It'd just be tails, right?
Oh, jeez. That's a great pun, by the way. Yes, more tails than heads in this case.
Yes.
Yes, you do know.
Are all the Is there any? Are all the victims in the ward here? Are they all male?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's the Vigilis Hospital.
Yeah.
Well,
and all of these people here are soldiers and naval and sailors. But he says that the four civilians that seem to have come down with the same symptoms, they're all male as well.
Courteous, do we know if patients in the regular hospital who are not part of the Vigilis Treatment Center are also having this sort of outbreak?
There are no public hospitals.
Well, is there anywhere else to go but here? Or would all sick people be here?
Is there a temple to Mars? Is there a temple to Mars Nodens?
He says we've canvassed the city to see if this is part of a wider outbreak. It's only those 4 wealthy men and these dozen servicemen.
Okay.
So
does this include the 2 guys who he knocked down last night?
They seem to be fine. Oh, this guy who's all covered in bloody wounds, he doesn't have any of the same symptoms of the other people.
Okay.
Like he's not sweating, he's not having nightmares. He appears out of his mind, and he has wounds that won't stop bleeding. And he won't die from blood loss. Kind of a medical mystery. I can wake him up if you want to try and make heads or tails, but all he's done to us is rant.
Well, we could ask him about the girl or about Siddha.
Let's ask Courteous Fronto if there's any medicines that we could possibly apply to him that might slow his ranting down to a speed that can be intelligible. I'm not suggesting we start with that, but it's a possibility.
Make a medicine roll.
All right.
Or pharmacy.
Shit. 87 out of 85. Can I spend 2 points of luck?
Sure.
All right, I will do so. Yes, I suggest that we wake him up. There may be something to be gleaned from his rantings, and perhaps have something in the bag that will allow us to make him more clear.
Okay, you wake him up. You know, and he immediately asks for more poppy juice so he can go back to sleep. He appears.
Not yet.
You mean this poppy?
Courteous, can you open some of those bandages up so we can see what kind of wounds we're dealing with? I have a bad. The player has a suggestion, has an idea, but I don't know that the character does.
Okay, so you want to do that? The medic here will allow it because you're more of a proper surgeon.
Sure.
You know, he's hoping he wants to help this guy. He just doesn't know how. As you take these off, it looks like a circular mass of flesh has been removed from the right arm and the left side.
These are interesting ones.
Would these be more, say, oval-shaped, perhaps, than circular? Any other?
No, they appear circular. The only thing that you have seen that would leave this kind of a bite is possibly a lamprey. But it would need to be a really big, very aggressive lamprey.
I was going to suggest, can we even tell that they're bites? But okay, you're telling me they're bites.
No, they're clearly bites.
Is there any chance that there's when you say it's a circular wound, does that mean that it also dips down into the meat so that there is a chunk of meat removed?
There's stuff missing.
A bloody divot in his arm and his side that won't stop bleeding.
Ragged and torn or smooth?
Like a bite out of an apple.
Cool. This is what we signed up for, kids.
Yep.
Okay, so he's like, I want to go back to sleep. He goes, just give me the juice. He goes, if you're not going to stop the bleeding, just put me back to sleep.
First, you need to tell us where you were last night and where is your master.
Make a persuade check.
Ooh,
and make that a hard success.
I would love to. No, 83. That's not even close.
Okay, can I poke him in his wound and roll intimidate?
Go ahead.
I poke him in his wound and roll
we need a hard intimidate.
I rolled a 08.
That's pretty goddamn good.
Success.
Does this hurt?
Poking him.
Yeah. Does it hurt when I do this?
I'll talk. Stop. He goes, look. He says, we went to pick up some married woman and she had a gladiatrix bodyguard. Then they went somewhere and I took them. I don't remember where. I was outside. I was talking to some girls, I think. And then they were screaming and I ran in and there was blood. There was so much blood and the woman was dead and Fiddle was dead. And then there it was. It was huge. It was bigger than a man. And I stabbed it. I stabbed it. The sword. It went deep. It should have, but there wasn't a drop of blood on it when I pulled it out. And then it grabbed me, and I was screaming, and it was on top of me, and then someone was pulling it off of me, and they were screaming at it. I don't remember. I don't know what they said. Emma Weluf Pirduha. I don't know, but then it was off of me, so I got up and I ran, and when I stopped running, I was here, and it won't stop bleeding. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Please,
what did this?
Make it stop, doctor. Please.
Never mind your.
Make it stop.
Never mind your squeals. Tell us what this beast looked like.
I never saw it clearly. I don't know. It was dark. It was huge. So strong. Strongest man I've ever fought. If it was a man, I don't know.
What part of town were you in?
He goes,
where had you taken them?
I don't remember. We were just walking. I was following them. I held a torch and I followed them. I've never been to the city before.
I was about to say he's not from here.
Yeah. But where is your master staying in this city?
He says, we just arrived. We didn't even have accommodations yet.
I'm going to go ahead and roll under insight to make sure that he's not bullshitting. Well, I actually made the goddamn roll for once. That's fantastic.
He believes everything he's saying.
Okay.
Curious Fronto, are you armed?
Yeah, I probably have my knife on me, yeah.
Give me a opposed dex check.
All right.
I've got a hard success.
93.
I know who won that
That
one.
is not a success.
No, it is not.
He screams. He says, "If you're not going to make it stop, I will." And he reaches over, and grabs the gladius. I think you are armed with a gladius or
large knife.
He grabs the knife out of your sheath and just slams it into the side of his neck and pulls down. And blood. All right, sand check. Blood just pours down.
Sand check, everyone.
And he twitches a couple of times and he's dead. And the other medic comes up, God, he's like, damn it! And he's like pressing on it. It's helpless. The guy bled out in seconds.
Am I immune to this sand loss as it's like blood self-inflicted?
Yeah, surgeon and gladiator, you're fine. Everybody else,
I make my sand loss roll. I make the check.
All right,
I made the check.
But I might lose some anyway.
It's 1 point. It'd be more if you lost it, but you both made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay.
All right. So what do we got?
Well, we can check with the Vigilis.
I can give you one more thing. Does anyone here know Brythonic?
Yes. Let me roll on that.
Make an idea roll.
Oh, an idea roll.
Yeah, you have 40%, so I treat that as fluent.
Okay, so do we at around Pagan House.
When he mouthed those weird words that they were Emma Walof and Paidahal, they sound distinctly like a dialect of Brythonic spoke in the West. And they roughly translate to calm down and don't.
Okay. The idea roll was 10%, which is I guess a critical success on that character.
It was his pronunciation was crap, is what I'm saying. But it was clear enough that you were able to realize that those are Brythonic words.
I will share with the group that whoever was commanding the thing that somebody attempted to command the thing that chewed up this guy. We didn't even get his name. I want to point out, kids, that we didn't even get this guy's name when we got him talking, which is genius for us. But before he stabbed himself in the throat, but
the Phoenician. Come on, how much more do we need?
The Phoenician. For
the people listening at home, something was Gisco.
For the folks at home.
For the folks at home, his name was Gisco.
Somebody tried to command this thing. Whatever chewed him up.
Right,
somebody tried to command it.
What was the translation again?
It was calm down and don't.
Okay. So we've got soldiers and sailors with a sudden disease outbreak. We've got rich men with the same sudden disease outbreak. We've got a horny bastard who shows up in town, hauls a married woman off, and I do have a question. One thing I want to clarify before I go on. Did I had understood the gladiatrix to have said that she let them go off on their own, but I thought I heard the Phoenicians at least imply that they all went off together.
No.
Did I misunderstand?
No, he didn't. He said that he never said the gladiatrix went with them.
Okay. All right.
He said that the woman he picked up had a gladiatrix for a bodyguard. Okay,
but nonetheless, they just got here, and one of these three people knew where to go. basically straight away. And one presumes that they were off to have sex. So to me, that all adds up to a den of she-wolves somewhere. And what do we think likely play? Who knows Deva the best that they might?
Oh, there's tons of brothels here.
Well, so we can ask the Vigilis, right? So he came running down and barreled into them, so we can find where they saw him, and then just follow that road back up, and
start checking the brothels on that section of town.
Yeah, he couldn't have gotten very far.
Yeah, he couldn't have gotten far that way, one would think, before he ran into somebody else.
So a Vigilis can take you to exactly where he was found.
Okay.
And then if any of you have tracking, he was bleeding. He was bleeding quite a bit, although it's been a day.
It is, yeah, and it's February and it rains and that.
Yeah. But again, you'd at least have an area of the city. Again, like you said, he couldn't have gotten far in that condition.
So when the Vigilis takes us to that spot, then can we say, well, what is in this area? What is there a brothel here? What's
based on our hometown knowledge?
In this area, based on your hometown knowledge, there's a couple of brothels nearby.
I mean, I must have taxed them. I mean, I must have picked them up for money at some point.
You do find a blood trail.
Oh, well, that's handy.
But one of you will need to make a track to find at least the direction it's going. If you could even just find the direction, you could narrow down which brothel.
Not my bailiwick.
Nope.
A base.
Yeah, base.
No, so I tell you what, let's go to the first brothel, and then let's go to the second brothel, and 50-50, we might get the right one.
Also, would I have enough? What kind of knowledge would I have about these places based on having to shake them down?
The brothels in this area are all very high-end brothels. This is actually a really nice part of town.
Well, that means that cops and rich people can afford it, because the cops are going to be able to get a discount. I mean, the Vigilis.
None of the sick people were cops.
Well, I mean, they were the Vigilis, right? They were the watch.
Nope, they were Army and Navy guys from the base who'd been transferred to the Vigilis hospital, so they didn't have an outbreak at the Army or Naval port.
Okay.
All right, so the closest brothel to here is a brothel called Amoris Omnibratio, and I'm just butchering that. I apologize now, Mr. Professor Mansfield, my Latin guy. But it translates roughly to shadows of love.
Nothing ominous about that.
Sounds enchanting.
And of course, at this time of the day, it is not open. But it is
Knock
also
on the door.
Is there blood
Knock on the
seeping
door
out from
with
under
me.
the door, or
no
signs of
it has
disturbance
rain.
anywhere? Okay.
So if you guys wanted to break for your midday meal, possibly go to the bathhouse, it's mid-afternoon at this point.
I can't think of a better time to go in the brothel than when it's closed.
You can knock.
Yeah, I'm knocking at the door.
Yeah, we've got a gladiator and a tax collector.
Okay, and an older man with an eye patch opens, and he says, we don't open until dusk.
I think you can open for the tax collector.
He says, well, I'm pretty sure we're paid up.
Have you had? Have your girls been checked by the doctor? I think we need to. Have they? I don't know if they do that in ancient Rome. If they've got that kind of service.
Make a fast talk roll. You could say it. It may not be true, but you could try.
I can step in with charm.
Okay, not my best skill, but I rolled a 15, which is not bad. Yes, 25. It got in under
He says,
the.
hold on. He says, let me get the boss.
Fair enough. Does he step away from the door, or does he close it and latch it?
He never opened it. He opened the slot.
Okay,
Ah.
that makes sense.
So a few
I
minutes.
kind of want Manad just to fucking break the door bar right now. Just have him just.
Well, are you saying
Okay, when you
that?
come to this place,
No.
this
Let's.
place is marble
I'm happy to oblige.
walls, columns, portico, steps. This is a high-end brothel.
Understood.
This is not, this is not some army shag hole. I mean, this is.
Well, that's
this
going to
is where
go. That's going into my dictionary. That's going into my thesaurus. Shag hole. Okay.
Okay, so you are.
I'm going to, while they're doing that and fixing their attention, I'm going to slip around the back.
Okay. This would be the time I would take Jeff's character to another table. All right, Jeff, we're going to have a scene after this.
Okay.
I'm going to run their scene first to see how much time you have.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so a woman comes to the door, older. She looks like she just threw on some clothing, and she is very attractive for her age, which is older than she's trying to appear. And she has a very dark head of quite curly hair that goes to her shoulders. And she goes, "Okay, good afternoon, gentlemen, miss. I'm Dosia. I'm the proprietor of this establishment. What is this about? It's a little early for us."
We tell her that we're following up on the doctor here and myself in our official capacities are assisting the city in an attempt to track down a recent outbreak of fevers that may be connected to the brothels in this region. We need to come inside and have the doctor inspect the facilities for any signs and check your slaves for any signs of this fever.
Do you actually believe that? I'm asking you as a keeper, not as the character.
Do I actually believe what? That this is part of our
your statement just now.
I believe this is mostly a lie. Yes.
Okay, so you do not believe it. And
I don't believe I have an official capacity beyond shaking people down.
she
But
says, "Well, let's get this settled. Why don't you come in? But you're not having a look around because we have someone who checks everyone, and no one here is sick." So she lets the 5 of you in to the front area.
four.
To the 4 of you into the front area where there's a little bit of lounge where they bring the girls out in normal occasions, and you pick, but they're closed now and everyone's asleep still upstairs. Although you do hear people up on the floor above you kind of getting ready for their day, which is a night. And she says, "So no one here is sick. I'm sorry that people are sick. But
I am definitely going to use definitely using insight on her. Oh my gosh, he rolls a fucking 07. Finally, he makes an insight roll.
She says, "No one here is sick." And
I'm more interested in her demeanor. Is she calm? She collected? Is she annoyed by our presence as opposed to
she's
nervous?
annoyed by your presence.
If there was a monster murder in her house, she seems to be taking it very well.
Your point being, Scott? Were you going somewhere with
Either,
That's
either very
I
good
mean,
or very bad.
I'm asking you as the keeper whether or not her demeanor implies that she is nervous about anything that's happened in this house recently. Is she having? Because we're talking about
I think she's
a
nervous.
massacre that
She's
happened last
confused.
night.
She's confused as to why you're here and trying to make sense of it. But because you've got a huge hulking gladiator, somebody, and a famous actress, and you're a tax collector, she's just not going to leave you out in the February cold.
Okay.
And nothing about the premises suggests that anything is out of order for
Yeah,
this high-end product.
like if there's furniture and if
You
there's
take a quick
decor,
look around there.
Right.
It looks like a very high-end, high-luxury brothel. You don't see
Nothing
anything out of the ordinary other than the fact that you're standing in it, Calvina.
I say,
No, because
This is-
usually she wouldn't be allowed in.
Right. Well,
I
this
say
is
to
embarrassing, but it's for the public good.
yeah.
Hold on,
The,
Mike had something.
Yes.
can I turn to her and say, a Phoenician man was injured last night along this street. Know you of this?
We've heard of it. There was some screaming in the middle of the night. We heard that the Virginia picked up a madman who attacked them.
This
That's
man
all I
had not
know.
come to this. He had not come here.
Not that I'm aware.
Well, let's try the insight roll on that roll. Yes. That's a yes. And how much bullshit is she giving us?
That was not a truthful statement.
Okay. Okay.
At
Were
this
you open
point,
for?
the
Were you
guard
open for?
returns with the other guard, and they're both armed.
Excellent.
Excellent. That means they're not at the back door.
I'm going to go ahead and right now we're just in sort of an atrium, a foyer for this place. How many entrances out are there?
You see one that leads to the back of the house and a stairway leading up to the second floor.
Okay.
Scott, if you're giving me the wink that she's lying, are you giving me the wink that she's lying?
I will definitely, if there was any way that I could communicate that to somebody with a look of,
You've worked together before. I'm sure you've worked this out. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I completely believe everything
if
she's
I
saying.
roll my shoulders, it means they're lying. So you've worked together before.
I'm going to, once I get that message, I will turn back to her and walk up very close to her and say, "You lie.
And
Tell me the truth."
both of the guards flank her, and they put their hands on their hilts, and they said, "You want to back up because you're not immune. You're not immune to stab wounds, big guy."
Do you
I
know
look at
who
them
this
both.
man is?
I look at both of them and just say, "You want to try? You want to try?"
And she says, "There's no reason for blood to be shed in this house."
You mean?
I agree. Tell me the truth,
And it says,
and there won't be.
and she said, "Sir, call your man off, and I'll call mine off, and we can have a civilized discussion." But I
Oh,
won't,
I'm
I
sorry.
won't be intimidated in my own house.
I was about to say, my man? Oh, that's very presumptuous. I believe he's his own man, but let's all back down and just for a second and be civil again. Thank you for letting us in your house. I appreciate your allowing us to come inside. But on the subject of bloodshed, was there bloodshed previously in this house? Perhaps last night?
And she says, "I can ask my girls if you'd like to wait."
Why don't we
That
come
would
with
be
you?
wonderful.
Yeah. I think this is the kind of bloodshed you would have noticed. You wouldn't have to ask your girls about.
You mentioned there was
If it's the
screams.
kind of
You knew
bloodshed I
about
would have noticed.
the Phoenician.
From what people have told me, it's word travels in a neighborhood.
Yeah, let's try the inside again. 33 or possibly 33.
Everything in that statement was true.
Wow, fair enough. But is she trying to deceive me? I mean, obviously she is, but I'm just doing the die roll on top of it.
She says, if there was violence in this house, I will get to the bottom of it, and I will report it to you or the authorities. If you can check with people. I run a reputable business here. I am very good friends with the local watch commander, and I have friends in lower places. And I have friends in lower places as well.
Me too.
You knew of the. Go on.
I'd like to try and step in and change the tact here and go woman to woman, charm offensive here to go. It doesn't. Blood doesn't need to be spilled. No reputations need to be sullied. We're only trying to make sure that no dishonor or ill repute could fall upon this fine establishment. Charm.
Roll it.
05.
That's better.
She says, well, woman to woman, I have a business to run.
Of course you do.
This is very disruptive. If someone attacked anyone, I will be the first one to find out who to turn over to you. But I cannot have your friends tromping through this establishment.
There's no need for a tromp. Why don't you just lead me upstairs?
Fine.
Thank you. You're a doll.
Careful. We're going to end up knocking her open and she's going to be full of straw.
Yeah, well.
Okay. She takes you upstairs.
Okay.
Again, this would be me leading another player to another table.
All right.
And I'm going to, for dramatic purposes, we're going to switch to Jeff now.
Okay.
And we're going to keep you hanging for a moment.
One question. When Calvinia goes off with her Dosia, I presume Tweedledee and Tweedledummer are hanging out here giving us the hairy eyeball.
Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jeff, you're heading around trying to find the back of this building.
Well, yeah. How many stories?
It's a 4-story building, and it's connected to all the other buildings. It's like a block.
Got it.
But
Windows?
there are windows all along the front.
Bars?
There are not bars on the windows.
Okay.
I need you to make a spot hidden check as you're kind of getting the lay of the land.
15. I'm pretty sure that makes it. Yeah, that's under base. So
there is a secondary door adjacent, like a few feet down from the main door, that judging by the dips of the roofs and the houses, it leads to an opening, an alleyway between these two buildings.
I walk in like I own the place.
The door is closed.
I have a plan. What?
The door is closed.
I open it like I own the place.
It is locked.
That sucks. Are there any? Is it like a gate? Is there like space beyond it, or is it roofed?
It is not roofed. If you were able to get over the wall, you can get into this area.
I'll knock.
You knock, and how loudly do you knock? Do you knock very loudly? There's actually
not so loudly as to be heard from the front, but if there's somebody right there.
There is a rope.
For a bell.
Yeah.
I'm over the wall. I'm actually a good climber.
Okay,
I look around, make sure I'm not being immediately observed, and over I go.
You are in an alleyway between these two buildings, but it's not like a dirty alleyway where they're throwing out. It's actually a nice paved walkway
Here, I'll get
leading to a backyard.
Got it. Do I hear anything?
Make a listen check.
Make a wall. I don't hear anything.
Okay. You go to the back.
So I'm not creeping. I'm walking like I belong there.
Okay, no stealth rolls. You walk right into the back. You see, even though it's February, what would normally be a quite lovely garden, and it's actually, even though it's February and it's off season, you can kind of see the potted plants, the spouting fountain that's off because it's so cold out right now, and in the far corner there is a statue of Venus, and at the far end of this little courtyard is a whole two-story building attached to the brothel. And while you're there, the door actually opens, and you hear someone say, "Is someone there?"
Hello, I'll call out. Hello.
Oh, and two people come out, and they are dressed in white. They carry quarterstaffs, and they have half masks over the tops of their faces.
Oh, lovely. Hello.
And they feel their way with the staves, and they come out and say, "Are you lost, miss? We're not open yet."
Oh, wait. Are you saying that the masks don't have eye holes?
That's what I'm saying.
I think I reach in. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to get out of here. I reach into my pocket and pull out a prostitution token. Say, I was called in. I was told to come to the back. Am I in the wrong place? I was asked to look for the Britannic woman.
That's out front. This is a separate business, ma'am. We can show you into the brothel if that's the place you were looking, but
I'm terribly sorry. I don't mean to inconvenience. I'm going to fast talk my way out of this now. I don't mean to inconvenience anyone. This has obviously been a huge mistake. Pardon me. Have a very nice day. And I'm
roll a fast talk.
I'll show myself out.
Spot 1 out of 55.
They will say
that's in the world.
They actually walk up with you because the fact that you're in here means that someone forgot to lock the door.
Damn it!
So they have a logical reason to say, "Oh, if you wandered in here, someone must not have closed the door." So they go with you, and they say, "You have a lovely accent. Is that from?" And they say, "Is that from Hispania? Are you from Hispania?"
Why? Yes, I am. Where are you from? I've got them eating out of the palm of my hand now. So,
and you realize as they get closer that they are, if they're, one is male and one is female, and they've got to be siblings.
Okay.
And they say, "Well, we're from here. We were born just south of here. But no, we're from the province. We're Brythonic.
We are from this fourth dimensional coordinate, and in no way, yeah.
And they said, I said, while you're here, would you like to make an offering?" And they point to the Shrine of Venus.
What is? Oh God, I don't. I know. I'm just trying to get out of here at this point. I'm in trouble, and I know it. And I'm a survivor, so my sister gave me bad directions.
Okay, they ask for your name.
I give them my sister's name, Adama.
Okay.
Do you really?
She doesn't have a sister.
Good.
That's the joke of the character.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So
I'm so sorry. She said that there would be no embarrassment associated with this, and it was a very nice person.
Give me one.
Now I just feel terrible.
They introduced themselves as Sentica and Serrano.
Okay.
And they said, well, we're very pleased to meet you. But we would wish you to come again, but you'd best not come alone. Usually only couples enter here.
I see. Very important. Thank you. All right.
Be well. And they let you out. And I want you to make an insight check.
No.
Okay.
I'm worried about saving my own ass at this point.
Okay.
I'm not.
They let you out, and you are back out on the street, and you hear them walk all the way back down towards the garden, and then close the door to the smaller building in the back.
All right.
Meanwhile, when you go upstairs and says, she pulls you aside. She says, "Let's have a talk."
Let's.
And she goes into a side room, this empty out. Yeah. And she says, all of my staff, I've worked with them for years. They're very happy. I have 2 new girls. One's a sweetheart. The other, I'm not too sure about. She says she's just planning to stay here for a few days and then move on. And we offered her a position here, and she said no. No one refuses a position here. I have girls willing to slit someone's throat to work here. We're the most popular brothel in town. If someone was attacked, and if someone was attacked here, I'm going to tell you, I don't think it would have been by any of my people, but I don't know her as well as I would like.
What's the name of this new girl?
She says her name is Marin. She's very pale with red hair. A very good worker, has become very popular. We just hired her from down by the docks.
And when did she start here?
Yesterday was her first night.
Is she here now?
That's why I pulled you in. Yes, she is.
Oh.
Before work, the girls all go to the bathhouse.
Of course.
They go in stages, so there's always some girls here.
Of course.
If you and your men could come back, I will have one of my men signal to you when she's at the bathhouse, and you can search her room. She claimed that she was just working here long enough to save up money, so perhaps she tried to rob this person.
Oh, perhaps. Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea.
And then once you searched her, you can stop her before she comes back here so that there's no violent incidents or arrests in my establishment to embarrass me in the neighborhood.
Oh, of course not. We wouldn't want that.
Then we have an understanding. You will have my full cooperation in this matter.
Excellent. I will let the gentleman downstairs know.
Wonderful. I'll see you out.
Oh, thank you so much.
So she goes back down and says, gentlemen, we have an understanding. Your associate will explain outside.
Step outside.
I'm around the corner waiting for them to come out so that we're not seen together.
And she says, and sirs, I fear that we have gotten off on the wrong foot. Let me make that up to you. And she gives you each a brothel token to come back.
Hey, who remembers the story of the casting of the runes?
I do.
Yes, but I'm having a hard time coming up with a reason why we shouldn't accept the tokens.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I say I appreciate it very much, but
nonsense. This is one of my girls or boys will make you feel like a young man again.
I'll have his if he doesn't want it.
I let him take it on the grounds that that I'm dubious about accepting charms or things at this point. And in fact, my character at least knows that things can be charmed because he's in possession of a charmed item.
Well,
so,
everyone is. You're
okay.
Yeah. In ancient Rome, you wouldn't leave the house without half a dozen luck charms, it's like putting on shoes today. They
Okay.
were very superstitious. So everyone wore charms and tokens and fetishes to protect themselves from evil.
I can't come up with a good reason why my character would refuse the token.
How about that? You're
Don't
happily
refuse it.
married and 47.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a good. I'm not even sure that's a good answer in Rome. Besides, I could keep it in my pocket and use it to bribe somebody else.
Okay. Anyway, you're all outside, so you can fill each other in. You can unpack your adjectives out of earshot from any of the nice people of the Shadows of Love brothel.
Okay.
And Sabina, you did see there was a sign on the side business.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And that business.
I am literate.
Yes, you are. That place is called Amorcasis S. Again, I apologize for my horrific Latin. And this was from Google Translate, so I'm sure it's wrong. So no one email me, I know. And it's Love is Blind.
Oh, fuck. Fuckity fuck.
Oh my God, that may be the highest compliment I've had in my career, Scott. Thank you.
All right.
So I explained to everybody the deal.
Listen, she's...
All right, hold on. Calvina.
Mm.
And then we're going to go Sabina, and then we're going to go with Scott, because you've got 3 stories to relate.
Okay.
So I filled them in on the deal that was struck, suggesting that once we get the high sign, the boys could go up and toss the rooms. Perhaps Sabina and Curtius could follow her to the bathhouse, and under the auspices of inspecting this new Grammarian and seeing if there's something amiss with her. If she only started yesterday, they found her down by the docks. Maybe she's part of what's been making people sick, or part of the whole punch a hole disaster with the Phoenician.
Sabina, you got stuff to tell us.
Yeah, so I tell them. Does any these names and this whole blind Venus thing ring a bell with anyone? Anyone?
A cult check?
Not from my character's background specifically. No. Let me Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Or can we Empire to know how weird or not this is?
A blind slave working at a love hotel is not an odd thing. They were sometimes employed because they could never effectively identify any of the patrons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for very wealthy people wishing to remain anonymous, it's not bad. It's actually not unheard of.
Okay.
But to have 2,
Brother and sister?
2 tall twin blind slaves that actually, oh, by the way, they were very comely. They were extremely attractive. Both. That would be quite a find.
Not to mention, from your story, that sounded like a temple to Venus, not a that sounded like again a religious. It sounded like a temple.
They asked me to make an offering. I declined.
Making a cult check, see if that rings a bell.
You can go ahead.
I made a 0.5 Cthulhu Mythos roll, if that helps.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, for the occult,
Failed.
having a shrine connected to the garden of what we will call a love hotel, a short-term rental hot sheet place, that's not unheard of. If the twins were devout worshippers of Venus, asking if you'd like to make an offering would not be outside of the realm of possibility. The 05 on the Cthulhu Mythos does bring something to light that I'm sure all of you know already, that there's a connection with a god that cannot see, that who can also deliver wounds that will not heal.
Yep. I can't ever get away from this, can I?
Does Sabina actually go ahead and follow through with their background information?
Yeah, she does. This is how my mother died. In a bathhouse.
What?
What?
Her mother was. I forgot that. You lucked out picking this character. Her backstory is that her mother was killed by an avatar, by an assailant who had no head.
Oh, that.
In a
Just to
bathhouse.
make sure
In a bathhouse.
we are on the same page, I'm aware of this blind god whose injuries, who inflicts injuries that do not heal. What do I know that god by? The name.
He's called several names. The Devourer, the Dark Bacchus.
Oh, god damn! Son of a...
No one really knows what his worshippers call him. Or her.
Okay.
If it does have a gender.
Gender schmender.
And I'd rather not say because I'm not sure if we'd have to pay royalties.
It's funny, I just got done editing this section the other day. So, yeah.
I don't think we necessarily have to go check out the other brothel.
No.
It would not seem so.
All right. Does anyone need... We've been at this 2 hours. Does anyone need to use the restroom? Does anyone
Not anymore!
No. I think we should proceed to track the ginger to the bathhouse.
Oh, wait a minute.
going
Wait a
on
minute.
there.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Dosia lied her ass off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that this ginger is anything. I think this is bullshit. I mean, I think that this is either she's throwing us someone as a scapegoat,
Absolutely.
or she's going to lure us. Well, we've already established that headless, murderous motherfuckers live in bathhouses and kill your mother. So the
Yes,
idea
they
that,
do.
The idea that we're going to follow this redhead to a bathhouse where we're going to effect an arrest sounds like a setup.
No.
to me.
I was curious about two things. One, could we co-opt her somehow? Or two, is it a trap that we're now aware of, and do we get followed?
Yeah, that's the first thing we should be doing. Is we should be wherever we go to leave this place. I assume that we are moving in the street, and we should probably assume that we're being followed at this point. But it would be worth our while to also do tail checks. And, obviously we can't do the sort of things that...
All right, well, it is February, so you should be heading somewhere.
Yeah.
Where are you going to head to kind of regroup and have this long discussion? Because you're not having it in the street.
Yeah, I'm going to presume that we're going to have to go to something like a wine shop or, whatever the equivalent would be in this.
Yeah, you can go somewhere for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to make a spot hidden to see if you're being trailed, go right ahead.
I trust her.
Yeah, you trusted her so much you didn't even roll insight when she told you all that stuff.
I believed her.
It's a good thing you're pretty.
Very pretty. And I'm a very accomplished juggler.
I'm still shaken by my near-death experience, and you guys see anybody behind me.
Yeah,
I know. I miss my spot hidden.
You don't know if you've been followed back to the wine shop or not.
I rolled an 11.
Just,
I made mine.
You're fairly certain you weren't followed back. You weren't
I'm
followed.
sorry, were or weren't?
With an 11, you are fairly certain you were not followed.
I think it's
Or
safe.
at least they didn't
tell
come inside the wine shop when we sat down. They're just waiting outside or something.
Exactly. Have a seat.
All right, so you guys got to come up with some kind of a plan.
Well, now, if I remember the Phoenicians' statement, Sitta and the wife are out of the picture. They're fucking dead.
Right.
All right. So
apparently, only couples go back to the VIP room in the back. So
yeah, they count as couples.
Well, if they're dead,
It is too. If they're dead,
then we are done.
technically yes, but we don't have proof of their death. We have report from a man who killed himself. Now, I don't know what we make of that, but or how we sell that to the boss or to the daughter,
We need to find their bodies.
or some evidence of their murder, or someone who's alive who can testify to it. At least for our patrons' peace of mind. Now, as for the rest of this place, I'm perfectly willing to burn it to the ground. Just go. We can just skip ahead to Plan F. All right, or would that be Plan I in Latin? Ignatius, to ignite. I mean, what would be the appropriate?
See, this was why I wasn't taking the bet on arson.
Yeah, it's a force multiplier. Don't knock it. It's good praxis.
The battle cry of the murder hobo: kill it with fire.
Well,
Keep
And
in
yet-
mind, it is.
I suppose it would be the
block in a
ethical
large
thing
city.
to do to at least reconnoiter the place and make sure they're not still alive, he says regrettably.
Thank you, Sabina.
Well,
Now,
not only that-
unfortunately, we were kind of dumbasses, and the good news is that we should have held somebody more people in reserve so we could have folks who could come into the place later as patrons.
I
But we
got
blew
token.
that.
I could just go in.
Well, they did invite me back.
They gave you a token.
True.
No, they didn't give her a token. You don't need tokens to go to the other establishment. But they said that she could
Ah.
go back, but she would need a
Offerings are appreciated.
We've got 2 female characters and 3 male characters, and we can all find a reason to go back there and reconnoiter it. I just don't think that any one of us will be able to get in the front door of this place. And I'm not sure what the connection between the temple and the brothel is. I mean, how... Okay, no, enough speculation. We need to... Let's have some ideas about how we're going to get more information out of this site.
I think
we
we
can watch it.
should carry out the plan that we struck, which is when the new girl leaves, you two go upstairs. They'll go up, show you to your rooms. You see what's there, and while she's off at the baths, Sabina and Curtius can just simply observe and see if anything seems to be amiss.
If you do not
I
wish us
can't
to
imagine what
follow,
you're so worried about.
we could always wait outside.
Do you have amnesia? Are you on glue?
What?
That sounds like an extraordinarily
fan
bad
theories
plan.
being posted are made.
Yeah, I see that. There's some panic in the streets.
You do realize I could send private messages to you guys on my keyboard at any time I want, right?
Yes, we know that. Why I'm nervous because I don't like the idea of us being brought into a room, perhaps with only one entrance, only to have that entrance blocked by, I don't know, something that causes wounds that can't heal. Totally makes sense that a gladiator would remember the monster that makes wounds you can't heal. God damn, that's a nice touch.
Okay, you got to do something.
Yeah, we do. Again, I'm still voting.
And if that something is leave town, that's always on the table for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Let us watch these these two places for the rest of the day, and then tonight let's see what happens with when she leaves the bathhouse. I'm happy to go in.
They go to the bathhouse right before they open, so they're actually heading
So
to the
they're clean
bathhouse.
and fresh.
Yeah,
I'm happy to go in. I mean that so-called Phoenician gladiator or whatever he was, 2-bit and clearly completely insane. And,
Clearly an amateur.
Quite, clearly an amateur. I have no fear, and there is no beast that can kill me, and certainly no beast that will not that'll deal me wounds that won't heal. No, siree, because it'll be dead before it hits me. So let's just get on with it.
Okay, so you're going to keep the building under surveillance until you see a pale redhead among a group heading to a bathhouse.
Yeah.
It's a great plan.
So,
All right, that happens about an hour later, at just before dusk.
who wants to trail the redhead, and who wants to go back in the building and search the room?
Well, do you want us to follow?
The redhead heads off with an exotic-looking girl with a shaved head, a young man with angelic features, and a Roman girl with a very hawkish nose. And the fourth one with them is a slim-looking, athletic Nubian girl with braids, and those are the four heading off to the brothel, to the bathhouse in the first wave.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
do you want us to follow, or should we wait
Yes,
outside
go.
in case you have trouble?
Follow.
I think we should
Okay,
follow.
follow.
Or maybe Sabina and I
Okay,
could
so
go in. You could wait
Alvina,
outside.
Sabina, and Curtius are following, and Menad and Scott, you guys are going up to search her room.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I guess we're gonna.
I say, you stay here.
They wouldn't murder a tax collector in broad daylight. They'd at least wait till dusk.
Exactly.
It's dusk.
There is that.
Oh, you and your petty details.
So, Mike, do you just want to go in by yourself? And Scott, do you not?
Well,
want
I'm
to
saying
go in?
if
No, I'm not. I'm not letting him go in by. I'm not letting him go in by himself. The problem is
Okay.
that I'm not.
There are
but,
no good choices in Call of Cthulhu.
No, but here's the only other thing that I'm going to do. I do have access to thugs, and I am going to spend the time before dusk rustling up some thugs. I mean, it's time to
don't
go.
have the time. You barely had an hour before, so by the time you got your plan together, it was time to come back and And I'm not going to let a bunch of nameless NPCs have all the fun.
All I'm talking about is for the. Oh boy, we need somebody to cut.
You have
this
to check out
fucking-
meat
You
fields
do
for
have legitimate contacts with the police.
All right.
And you have a gladiator
You
with
don't
you.
have time to go and summon them because you went to a wine shop to have a plan, and now it's time to search the room.
As you're standing there with all these thoughts running around your mind about, how do I get out of this? I turn to you, put my hand firmly on your wrist, and say, "Come, it is time."
Oh God damn it! It was nice working with you.
So the two of you enter the brothel. Dosia is there with one of the two guards. She says, "The rest of my girls are waiting. I'll take you to her room. I haven't let any of them in there."
All right.
They take you upstairs.
Lies,
You
all the
see,
lies.
Spot hidden's on the way. I'm looking for more of her guards peeking out from behind the curtains, looking out through doorways.
there are
I'm
people
looking-
wandering around. There's a new girl. There's a girl with ample curls and curly brown hair.
Hooray!
There's an androgynous-looking young man that winks at you.
Oh, thank goodness. I've still got it.
There's a burly Britannia, a burly native Britain girl who's braiding her hair into.
I do make it.
So there are people. It's not deserted, and you are brought to one of the empty rooms, and this is on the third floor. She says,
I
don't.
do make the spot hidden, looking for more guards.
You just spot the one guy who's with you.
All right.
She says that the girls have their personal rooms on the third floor, and they entertain on the second.
Are
This
the
is
women?
this is the room that she's been given to stay in while working here.
The
What's
women
on
do
the
not
fourth
have.
floor?
The women do not have dormitories. They're in individual rooms.
Yes.
When we come to the door, look in. Is there a window to this room, or is it windowless?
It is windowless. No, I'll say there's a window.
Tell you what, Manad, watch the door. I'm going to go in and search the room.
I will watch the door.
Thank you. So let's go with that spot
The
hidden
guard
roll.
here is just, he kind of like nods to you and he says, if you want any recommendations for that brothel, for that token, just tell me what you're into and I'll steer you in the right direction.
Maybe later.
No,
Thank you.
He's shooting the shit with Manad while they're at, like, did you make your spot hidden?
Yes, I rolled a 22 in the room as I go through the room.
Is that a hard success?
Actually, it is 22 it's 45, 22, 9. So 22 is not the hard success, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
Hard, the next one's extreme, yeah.
Oh, okay. It is a hard success.
Okay, then I can tell you two things.
Hmm.
It's a really nice room for a lupe, for a brothel girl.
Especially one who's not going to be here very long.
Well, there's, they were hoping that she would stay longer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This might be part of the sell. Tell me more, sir.
Give me 1 second.
Everything was fine until it turns out her bed was a mimic.
She has a comfortable bed, a small nightstand that has a couple of drawers. On top of the nightstand are some cosmetics and a metal mirror. In the drawer, you find a bag filled with coins. I can tell you the denominations if you wish to open the bag.
I would look at the coins just in case. I'll be honest. I'm looking for. I know that there are coins that are struck for faiths to be given to certain temples. So
nothing like that. There are 85 denarius here, which is
wait, what?
85 denarius here, which is about 340 sesterces, which is about half a year's pay for a tradesman.
Okay. This is the small fortune department.
And
Has it been taxed?
and looking
It will be.
And looking under the bed, you find a set of bloody silks.
I look into the bed. I see that. I look to Manad, hopefully to catch his eye. When they do catch his eye, I will give him whatever signal that says, get ready. and I go ahead and pull the silks out from under the bed.
Okay, but that's not the last thing you notice. As you were low down on the ground, pulling out these bloody silks. And these are the type of clothing a wealthy woman would wear. These are way beyond the means of anyone working here. You get a weird stale smell. And you think that it's coming from one or more of the corners of this room.
I guess
strange sense of body odor and radioactivity that we all love. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm before I pull out the silks. Then, if presuming I reach back, I make sure the silks aren't wrapped around something like a piece of a body or whatever.
No, not that.
But before I pull them out, I go to check the corner. Since I'm down here, wherever the funk is, I try and find the source of the funk before I pull the silks out.
It seems that with the roll you made, you've realized that someone has urinated on all four corners of this room. It's the stale smell of dried urine.
Nice.
Then, yes, there is a chamber pot. But
what was it we were saying about urine being used as a cleanser, as a laundry thing earlier?
Oh, it's used to clean laundry. But, they pick up all of the chamber pots and they pay taxes on it. It's actually a commodity in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
But that's got nothing to do with people peeing on the floor in their room.
Yeah, this isn't leftover from someone using their own urine to clean in their room.
No, nothing like that.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but I'll take a shot at occult, which is nope, not even close.
Roll natural world.
Oh dear. Let's see if that makes it. Natural world. Nope.
If you're shouting out about who's pissed in the corners.
Well, I smell it. I go to each corner. I don't know if I'd shout it out initially, but you might see me sniffing. And if you ask,
I might smell it too.
Yeah.
I rolled a 0-3 on my natural world.
Okay.
There are lots of predatory animals that mark their personal territory with urine.
Okay, that I knew, but I wasn't making the connection.
Okay.
Well, that's uppercase fucked. So, I'm keeping a close eye on the guard when I do this, but I pull the silks out from under the bed and hold them up. Is it a dress? Does it unfurl into a dress? Or the remnants of a dress?
The remnants of a dress.
Anything else besides this?
No. The guard says, "I'll be damned."
You might be.
He says, well,
do we recognize this as we can't? All right, we went through the wife's closet. I'm presuming
this is her size and her style of dress. You never asked what she was wearing when she last was seen.
True, but we can take it back and
yeah. It does seem like the kind of thing that she would wear, and it does seem like her size. The kind of thing.
At this point, I'm wrapping that. I'm folding it up, and we're leaving with it. I don't know if there's anything else to find here. Oh shit! How that the bag of money? It was 85 denarii. I hold that up and jingle it for the guard. Do you have any accounting for this?
Nope.
I mean, it could have been Sitta's money, but I can't think of a reason to seize it. I'll just account for the fact that it exists. She can throw it down a sewer if it's evidence later. But we're leaving with the fucking dress, and if anyone tries to stop us, I think that's your bailiwick, Menad. We're out
the
of
guard
here.
says so. Are you going to go to the vigilist, or are you going to take her, or are you going to try and deal with her on your own? Because if you need help, we'd be happy to oblige.
Sure thing. We got this. Thanks. We'll take care of it on our own. Appreciate the help. Thanks for the coin. Thanks for the token.
As long as you take care of it away from the premises, the Domina will be happy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and roll insight on this guy. 04. That is a gigantic success. Again, I'm trying to. When he said, "I'll be damned," was that his really bad acting to go, "Gosh, I never would have suspected that you would find the thing that I planted here in order to make this problem go away"?
With an 04, you're fairly certain this was, Billy Madison level bad acting.
Fuck.
Maybe Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio level bad acting.
No, don't you say bad things about her.
Wow.
I hate Mary Elizabeth.
Wow, there are some opinions.
How do you know a movie sucks? Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio's in it.
Nope.
Wow. You say that about Scarface and the Abyss?
Yeah.
She's the only thing that ruins that movie for me.
Ah.
Interesting.
Ruins, I say.
Oscar has opinions. All right. Yeah.
Next week on Oscar Has Opinions.
Yeah, let's we will bug out of here and get out. My only hope is we get out the front door fucking alive. That's all. Just
you get out the front door alive. Meanwhile, at the bathhouse, you guys follow these women and that one young man to the bathhouse.
Mhm.
They go in, they pay their 2 bits, and they go into the baths. Do you follow them and bathe yourselves?
I work here. Even if I don't work here, I work here.
The empire-wide union of bathhouse workers.
Well, I'm certainly able to put on a convincing show of working here, I would think.
Flash your union medallion.
You were able to bathe with them. They don't do anything too suspicious.
Are they real or are they spectacular? There's an old joke.
Oh, they're real and spectacular. It's clear that the Marin is. I mean, in a crowd of beauties, she stands out.
Any signs of? Well, this is more of a question for the good doctor, but are there any signs of disease?
Can I make a medicine check? I mean, does she look? She's beautiful. Does she look healthy?
There's
that's a separate
women's wing here.
Yep.
Well, I've seen plenty of naked bodies before. Are there any obvious signs of disease?
No, there's nothing obvious. They all look
all right.
Would it bring shame upon me to be seen bathing publicly like this?
You're an actress.
Well, I know, but I'm a wealthy, famous actress.
To most Romans, it would just be one more prostitute bathing together.
Awesome. I go on in, and to the extent I can, I try and situate myself near Marin.
Okay.
And using my fantastic charm,
I
say I don't recognize
you.
Are you new here?
Sorry.
Hold on. Do you actually try and strike up a conversation with the woman you're following?
If it seems, if it's going to be wildly intrusive, probably not. If I see an opportunity, then sure.
I think they're kind of keeping to themselves. They don't really. They're here to take a bath and go back to work.
All right.
So they're not really. They're kind of washing their bits.
They're working bits, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I just observe to see if, apart from her being beautiful, if anything is amiss with the stranger.
No, you don't see anything amiss.
I was about to say this is the closest thing you're going to get to a full cavity search. So keep your eyes peeled.
So,
they finish up
clothing
with the attendant. With the attendant.
I need it. I'm
Why?
sorry. This is very important. What? You've heard about the plague going around, haven't you? This is
what plague?
Oh dear!
Haven't you heard? I
Make
described actually. I've seen the symptoms. I described them to the attendant.
Oh, we haven't heard anything.
Well, it seems to be all right. And we have to.
You can look at the clothing, but you can't take them. She's going to be back for a minute. Okay, they'll let you do it if you make a fast talk roll.
Yeah. We won't take long, I promise. Fast talk.
Roll it.
07 out of 55.
All right, you have the clothes, although I'm not really sure where you're going with this.
You will be.
All right, so you come out with your clothing.
Yep. And I throw in. I dispose of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know how this plan is evolving, but I'm interested.
I wait for the four of them to finish their bath.
The four of them finish their bath. It turns out her clothes is missing. She starts getting very upset. The management comes in.
I stepped in. Here, oh dear, what's wrong?
These morons allowed someone to steal my clothing.
Oh gosh, here we'll let's get you sorted out. I try to get her to the side while the others leave. That's the plan.
Make a charm check.
Oh, I'm actually pretty good at that too. All right. 9 out of 55.
Okay.
Out of 60, actually.
She thanks you. And where do you go to sort her out for clothing? They do have a gift
just
shop.
somewhere out of earshot of the others.
Okay. Done.
Listen. I'm a friend, but you need to understand something. Right now, your employer is setting you up for the murder of what's the name of the woman we're looking for? She was a customer at your brothel last night.
She goes,
Yeah.
What? She goes, I haven't.
They're searching your room. I'm sure they'll find something incriminating, but I know you didn't do anything wrong.
And how do you know that?
You're the new girl, because you're the new girl, and they gave you up as the only plausible person who could have done something wrong.
I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't killed anyone since I've been here. I've only been in town a few days.
Since I've been here. Nice answer.
Since I've been here. And I believe you. What can you tell me about, but you're in danger because they will find something. And even if we believe you, your employers have put plans in motion to get rid of you.
They're very eager to have me become a permanent member of their group. It's unnerving. I'm just looking to make some money and move on.
I understand. So am I. I still have to free my brother. See, I did read.
See, you did read.
And I tell her my whole life story about my poor brother and slavery and working in bathhouses, and he's still there.
Well, that's all well and good, but now you're telling me I have to leave town and I don't have any money or clothing.
But I'm going to help you. But I'm going.
You don't, do you? Damn. Wow.
How are you going to help me, and why would you?
Because you're going to help me.
Here's the other shoe. Let's hear it then.
Yeah. Tell me what you know about this place and how can you get in? Tell me about the people in the back, the twins.
Oh, the twins? Oh, they're mama's babies. Dosia dotes on them. They run that place like it's a temple. They're supposed to be virgins, and they're off limits to any of the guests.
Why do couples go back there then?
Because they rent luxurious rooms, and the twins can't identify them, and they bring them fine wine and pipes of hemp and that sort of thing. It's for rich people to sneak away from their spouses and fuck.
Something went wrong, though.
Right.
Stop metagaming, Scott. Keep your mouth shut.
She says, look, if you're telling the truth, then I'm just going to leave town. I don't need to be mixed up in some kind of a murder thing. But I do need some clothes.
Yeah. I give her mine. There you go. I know where hers are.
She takes them.
You could just give her clothes back, but
Yeah,
I guess
I
you wanted you want an upgrade.
She takes them.
No, I want to blend in when we go sneaking into this place.
So if she takes them and says, so that's it. We're just going to part ways here.
I give her some coins. Suggest that she just. Scott is like, I'm missing something, obviously.
That's
what am I
that's
missing?
a conniption that's unfolding there.
Yeah.
All right, Scott and Manad, I need one of you to make a hard luck check.
Fuck. One of us, huh?
I guess I'm just waiting outside.
So you're traveling
right?
together.
Yeah.
I did it.
Okay.
You
arrive at the bathhouse. Just as Sabine is trading clothes with Marin.
Are we in any opportunity to see this happening?
Sure.
Not the trading clothes, but they're walking out together and saying goodbye.
I'm like, I'm like, hold on. I say, has my cohort spoken to you, ma'am, or madam, or whatever the appropriate greeting of the day is for somebody?
Yeah.
Says, yeah. She said that I was being set up for a murder that I didn't commit.
I hold up the bloody dress in front of her. I just found this in your chamber.
Well, if you found that, either you put it there or they did, because I've never seen it before.
Yeah. How much money do you have?
Only what she gave me. I've got maybe, 20, 30, 40, I don't know, not even 100 sesterci back at the room.
There's a bag in your room of 85 denarii.
Yes. I didn't know that.
No, it's there. They planted that in your room as well. I don't think you should go back there.
Well,
They're
I
going to
don't
make
think you should go back there either.
If you go back there, they'll kill you so that you can't contradict the story that they're concocting. We can offer you protection. We have a rich patron, and I believe they can offer you some protection while we're getting you out of town. But we're going to need you to tell
on my own. I don't need any protection.
Money. You can get out of town on the sesterci in your pocket, or you can get out of town on some denarii. What do you want?
I don't like to be beholden to anyone.
You're not going to be. We just want to make sure you can tell what you know to our patron. We are working for them, tracking down the owner of this dress.
Well, I don't know anything about that dress.
Yeah, well, you can tell us some more about the comings and goings inside the brothel and inside the temple.
Can I make an insight while this is going on?
Go ahead.
30 out of 70. So hard success.
She is although she's doing a good job of hiding it, she is becoming more and more and more tense the longer she's delayed, and it's almost like a snake pulling in on itself before it.
Furthermore, what I'm going to say is, we'd like to publicly arrest you so that they think that we've bought their bullshit.
I step up next to him at that point and say, she is not very happy. She's getting more and more tense.
She says, look, I appreciate that you're trying to help me, but it will be a cold day in Hades before I let myself be taken into custody by the likes of you or any other man in the city. You've warned me. I thanked you. I'm leaving.
Menad!
Leave this young woman alone. And I come out and turn on the charm offensive again and say, have these men been bothering you, dear?
She says, all of you, goodbye. And she turns and starts walking away.
Menad, I think this is your cue. How are you at wrestling?
Do you want me to take it down?
I would like you to please restrain her.
Can I have my net of plenty that just appeared on my person?
Yes.
I fling the net and she is in it.
What's your dex?
My dex is 55.
All right, well, hers is 80.
Damn it.
So as you hurl the net, she sidesteps it, turns to you, and says, so that's the way it's going to be then. And she pulls off of her borrowed clothing and starts sprouting fur all over her body and begins charging the group.
Oh, lovely.
Hey!
Hooray!
By the time she closes the distance, she looks like a massive humanoid fox with red fur along her back and limbs, white strip down the front of her jaw and her torso, and a big fluffy tail with a white tip to it.
Well, I draw my weapon.
Sand
I
checks?
leap aside.
Oh yeah,
All
sand checks.
Please sand checks. And then we're gonna make it simple. We're gonna go just in dex order. So no initiative and all
Oh,
that.
I failed my sand check.
I
I've had
also
enough
failed.
for today.
I succeeded if there's any loss for that.
Succeeded.
Okay.
Succeeded.
Those who fail take 5 points.
Ah!
And
Oh.
please make an INT check. Or you will run screaming from the Irish werewolf.
Oh, my int's really good.
I failed my idea check. I have no
Oh,
idea
I'm-
what's going on.
I made the
That's
fuck
good.
out of it. I rolled a 16 out of 80. That's an extreme success.
As I'm so fond of saying, you fully comprehend the cosmic horror before you and run screaming through the streets.
Ah!
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
You can act, Sabine, but you will not remember any of this tomorrow.
Okay.
Calvina, did you make it or fail?
I passed.
Okay, so 3 of you can act. 4 of you can act normally. Marin used her initiative to dodge the net, turn, and charge, so everyone gets a free shot at her before she closes that distance.
Hooray.
And then will be her, then you, as we combat to keep things smooth.
Okay. Dex order. My dex is not much. It's like 50.
It's group and then you, so you can go in whatever order you guys want to keep.
Oh, sorry. My dex is 65.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
5, and I'm just getting out of here.
Okay, and
Non-combatant.
you're following Courteous.
No, I just back off. I'm horrified by this turn of events.
You back
Trying to
away.
help this poor woman.
Scott,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing?
Well, like I said, drew the weapon. If that counts as the one motion that she gives
No,
me for free.
I will allow you to attack as she closes.
All right. I'm attacking, but it's more of a defensive attack than I want to get into her. I'm trying to make sure that I'm hacking it, snapping jaws and raking claws.
You're going to attack. You can hold and see what she does. Menad, what do you want to do?
I hit her really hard with my Gladys.
Okay, roll that.
Okay, I've done that. I've made a regular success.
1 second.
What? Doesn't everyone have a gladius in their house?
No.
Well, you didn't take. You didn't want.
I actually have a Celtic short sword, not a gladius.
I realize this is not the weapon I actually have, but I'm going to hold it like a wubby. So I feel better.
Okay, I hate to tell you this. The gladius hits her, and it doesn't cause any damage.
Okay, I hit her, but it doesn't damage.
It doesn't go through her skin, or it goes through her skin and leaves no wound.
It doesn't even scratch her flesh.
Okay, just bounces right the fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I had to double check the entry. Werewolves are immune to most weapons.
It is the silver polished silver Gladys of the Outer Void.
I'm gonna look up that character and see if I actually gave your character a silver gladius, which I'm fairly certain I did.
Okay, I look a bit shocked at this point and
Mm.
think I might go and find that net I threw that didn't hit her.
All right. The only other person who hasn't acted is Calvina.
I'm
What do you
going to
wanna do?
use my remarkable dexterity as a dancer and juggler to simply keep from getting hurt
You back away with Okay.
with grace and
Scott-
poise.
Scott, you can attack her, or you can use that as a parry.
I'm gonna have to be. Once I saw what happened with the gladius, that should have just gone through her
You should
clavicle.
skewered her. Yeah.
Yeah, should have gone out in one side and out the other. I'm definitely using just this large dagger to parry away anything that's coming at me.
All right. I'm going to ask you both to roll luck, and whoever rolls the lowest is being attacked.
Yay! My luck is my luck.
I mean,
roll-
whoever rolls the highest.
I rolled 69 and I failed with the 69.
I rolled 45, which is
It's gonna be you, Mike.
Excellent.
All right. Her thing is she's going to swing with both. She's basically trying to claw you out of her path. She's not trying to bite you. She's just, she
don't know that.
She seems
I'm
more.
just going to fight back.
All right, so hold on.
I get a regular success fighting back, even if I don't really.
She hits you twice. Do you want to dodge either one, or have you forego dodging by fighting back?
I'm fighting back on one, and the other she's at the bonus die because she's outnumbering me. So she wins both combats, basically, Oscar. That's the lowdown of that. My rolls are she wins both of them.
And you weren't attempting to dodge either blow.
No, I'm a gladiator. What would I be dodging for? My dodging skill is rubbish.
Yeah.
How's the armor you're wearing, or not?
Yeah, we're gonna need
mighty armor.
To the cleaners.
Yeah, the gladiator armor is kind of shite. It's for show. It's to show off their abs.
I was just hoping he was wearing a male shirt or something. That's all.
No, unless you specifically.
No,
told
I've only
me
got I've got some cheap fancy armor, but that's it's not going to do much good.
Okay, sorry about this.
Do it. It's all on Scott's. It's all his guilt for making him do it.
The first hit does 5 points of damage, and what's your armor?
Okay, my armor's going to be 3 on that one. So that's 2 points through. Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy.
Thank God our doctor is running screaming through the streets.
And the next one is 14.
Nice.
What?
Oh, I knocked that down to 12, but that is in total 14 points in total, which is I'm on 1 point. But I think I might have had a major wound.
Yeah.
Let's just make a con check on that. Yeah, I'm still conscious, but only just.
So you see Menad just literally, she hurls him back. He hits a wall, crumples, and he's grabbing at a throat wound that she's just clawed out of, and there's just this blood everywhere.
I am pointing to Scott and go,
"That's
told me to strike."
Okay, it is your round, Scott. What do you wish to do?
Are there any lamps in this place?
Make a luck check to see if you were within a lamp. It is dusk. They would be lighting lamps now as the patrons were leaving for the day.
20 is the luck roll, and that is less than my luck.
Okay, so you don't. You're not lucky enough to find a fire source.
20 is less than a hard, but more than an extreme.
So you did make your luck check.
Yes, I said I made yes.
Okay. So yes, there is a lamp here. You can grab it and hurl it at her, but I will tell you, she attacked him viciously to get him out of her path.
No. I'm
bent on fleeing.
I'm picking up the lamp to encourage her to leave rather than get flaming oil thrown all over her. I'm just like, that's my one attack is to grab up the lamp, and then hold it to the ready, like, doors that way.
As she looks at you, she takes a few steps back and smiles in the snarl, and she says, "You have not won. My skulk shall rise." She says, "All you've bought yourself is time." And she literally leaps onto an awning and then leaps onto a rooftop and vanishes into the twilight.
Medic!
I run to Menad's aid and try and cover his throat as the blood gushes out of him.
Do you have any first aid skill?
No, but I juggle really well.
God damn it!
This is
I
all
will
on the
try
up
to-
for me.
Sorry, what's
Because
the
if I
base
turn
on
into a
that?
werewolf, I
30.
could be like a werewolf gladiator. The money.
Oh,
will
it suddenly
roll
got
in.
badass.
Oh no! I rolled a 90,
Technically,
97.
it's not going to happen, Mike, because you didn't like doing 2 claw attacks. So you're not
All right.
infected.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah, I can tell myself
or not, or unfortunately.
that.
So I horribly failed my first aid
But I
roll.
wonder how
as
many
I
people
attempt
in
to help
town
us.
are.
Stop talking, Sean. Maybe he won't notice.
There you go.
Okay, Jeff, you made your first aid.
I'm about to try. 16 out of 55.
Oh.
All right, you get 1 point back, and you stop the bleeding, but you're going into shock, so you're not going to be.
So well, I'm there with you already.
Oh, I thought Sabina went mad.
Meanwhile, in Germania Superior, when Curious Fronto stopped running,
God damn it!
we sure would be great if we had a surgeon for this gaping throat wound.
All right.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, the Vigilis show up, and they were like, "What the hell happened here?"
Nothing good. I don't know.
Situation normal.
Werewolf? Werewolf. Their fox. Their castle. Their brothel. God damn it.
Luckily for
That
you, there were
brothel,
other
that
people
brothel
who
is
witnessed
clearly
it.
operating outside of the law, gentlemen.
How so?
Well, employing transmorphing foxes in an urban environment, that can't be legal. That can't be legal.
We'll look
And
into that.
we heard her say that she had not reported all of her income. There was a huge bag of silver in her drawer.
Yeah.
All right. So the
Yeah.
police, the medics, they basically say, "Well, come with us. We're going to go investigate the brothel. You need to get your friend back to the infirmary. These wounds are pretty serious. By the way, where's your doctor?"
This is what we say about the. Do we really mention the brothel to them? We're just going to say that they're. I'm not interested in mentioning the actual fucking brothel to these fucking Vigilis. I just want us to get the fuck out of here as quickly as possible. If that means we have to. Great. I'm going to have the 2 ladies carry the enormous gladiator out into the street. That'll be fabulous.
Get him off the street. Get him to the infirmary in their barracks, and they find Curious Fronto underneath the fruit stand, several blocks away, and they bring him as well. You are now back within control of your faculties.
All right. What happened?
It is now several hours later. Menad, you've been stabilized by one of their surgeons, and you've got an extra point back. You are conscious with 3 points now.
Yeah, 3 points. It's all good. It's all
And
good.
this
Got
is
a big
gonna be a-
bandage.
It's going to be
Big
a
bandage
honey
around my neck.
star.
An Irish werewolf issue.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. See, I told you.
Tell the Vigilis that you just fought a werewolf.
No. We tell the Vigilis that the.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It was a
bandit.
this massive thug came out of nowhere.
Scott,
Sucker punched me
it
with
actually
his
is
dagger.
Cthulhu Invictus. If you tell them there's a werewolf and you've got witnesses,
Yeah,
they're
they say
gonna
okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had a big,
Okay.
It had a big
They've got
fluffy
laws on
tail.
the books about werewolves. It's-
Wrong. ICT.
If we tell them it's a werewolf, are they going to burn Menad?
Well, a little, just to be on the safe side.
That's why I don't want to
Wouldn't
tell
you?
them it's a werewolf.
they were like, "Well, we don't know how. Did she?
It's not
bite?
like
Did she
he's going to
bite?
transform and attack us.
I mean, how is he feeling? Does he show any symptoms of lycanthropy? What are the symptoms of lycanthropy?
Check him for a bushy tail.
That's not his tail.
She didn't bite me. She didn't bite me.
Well, then you should be fine.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong now.
He looks fine, doesn't he? With the
Well, it should be fine in several weeks.
God damn.
You're lucky she didn't kill you.
Luck
Agreed.
was part of it. I managed to fend her off. No other man could have stood against her.
I'm going to go ahead and actually agree that the amount of damage that you this laid into you, you should be fucking dead. Anyone else of us that got hit like that, we'd be burning their body on a pyre by now, with maybe having some funerary rites. Yeah, no. Better you than me.
They said,
You're a hardy man, Manad.
We've searched town. We haven't found her. Should we be concerned? Is there anything else we should be doing?
No. Needs
I don't.
burning the
Yeah.
I don't think so. She indicated that
She was leaving immediately.
she was going to try and flee town.
Did she say anything else?
Oh.
She said something about her
Skulk?
skulk.
Was it a skulk?
It was a skulk.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going to roll in her natural history.
I rolled a 0-1 on my occult. Do I know what a skulk is?
You need to roll a natural world.
That's what I thought.
I
It
rolled
was.
a 0-1.
Does that help?
A group of foxes is called a skulk.
Okay.
They'll be back.
Her words
Good
were,
thing she
my
cursed
skulk,
you.
My skulk will rise.
Mm.
You know what, lady? We're really not interested in your skulk. We're interested in the devourer, but cool. Rise the shit out of your skulk. Rise the fuck out of it. That's cool. I could care less. I really could. I feel like we just got tangled up in somebody else's brawl here, kids. You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
For those
fans
fans at home who know my work, I sometimes write 2 scenarios in one and have them just weave through one another.
Yeah.
Just because there's a werewolf, it doesn't mean there's not something else.
Yeah, I don't believe the werewolf solves our problem in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I think that the devourer cultists, it was sort of a trap. They did put us on to the one person that they were aware of who could totally kick our asses and would be also completely separate from their cult.
Yeah.
Well, your main fighter is a little out of commission. Curious is still shaking. And
I think we have to go. I think we have to go back to our
house girl and the actress, both on solid footing. What's your plan now?
Let's get back to our patron.
Okay, you.
I think we have to. I think we have to report that she's.
Tell
dead.
him what?
She's dead.
There's no body. All we had was a dress.
We have some testimony from a dead man. We've got the bloody dress, and we
the
think we
werewolf.
know.
You're the first person to admit was a plan.
Well, yeah, it's a plant on the werewolf, but they had access to the dress, which means they're the ones behind it.
And who were they? The brothel?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's where my brain's going.
You did suggest we could just burn it down.
I'm actually thinking that's a better and better idea. We should go to our patron and say, this is what we think happened, and if you're up for some revenge, I bet you we can find some very talented people who'll burn this place down for you.
Well, he may be happy in the long run. He didn't seem like he wanted to really deal with her anyway. I don't think he would be much in there for
What are
revenge.
you actually telling him? That these people were behind her murder, they have her dress, they planted it, and we should just burn the brothel down?
I think we're having this discussion among ourselves before we
Talk to
tell
our
him.
patron.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the wine shop, and we go to the wine shop. Well, we're in the Vigilus.
A round of Shiraz for everyone.
We're in the Vigilus camp. You know.
Yeah, I don't think Manad can leave the hospital just yet.
Yeah.
No,
I think that may be where we're at. As far as burning the brothel down, that's public service that has absolutely nothing to do with whether our boss says or our employer says, "Oh, I don't want anything else done." Okay.
I should let you know that torching that place will probably burn down every house within 3 blocks and kill hundreds of people.
What's your point?
We don't know that a crime took
Want to
place
make you
there.
aware of it.
We don't know that a crime took place at the brothel. You're assuming that.
It actually probably occurred next door to the brothel.
In the weird brother and sisters place? Or-
Yes, but they're
Yes, in
under
the
the
garden.
same roof. They're under the same roof. The fox demon talked about those twins as being hooked up with Dosia, right?
Right.
Yep.
So it's the
But
same.
we don't know the
establishment.
twins did anything. We don't know Dosia did anything. She seemed like a very nice lady. Well, she did.
I will not return to my original question, which was, are you on glue? I will simply breeze right past that.
We've seen no evidence of the crime apart from the silks, which could have been planted.
But why
Well-
would they plant them if something hadn't happened there? What
Let's
would they seek
confirm.
to get?
Let's confirm that it's the wife's dress. Mike, Manad.
Is this a cunning, elaborate plan by the other brothel we never got to, where it actually all happened, and they planted it at the other brothel to?
You just want to go to a brothel that
Well, I'm just saying,
won't kill you with
know,
a werewolf.
He's at death's edge, and he's got a point. We don't know
there's
these
no
people
sign
did anything.
in the brothel that we've been to of some monstrous horror that inflicts wounds that do not heal. There's no sign of it. So is it at the other brothel? And the other brothel has planted all the stuff that happened at that brothel in the brothel we went to
He's delirious.
get.
I
You
think
know.
you've lost. I think you've lost a lot of blood, and
I
not all of
think
it.
he's onto something.
And not all of it has gotten to your head. Could we perhaps tilt Manad so that the blood runs from his feet into his brain so that it will begin working again?
Well, Vendiorix had indicated that the madam at the brothel was lying. So why would we think that it would be somewhere else? We'd already caught her in a lie.
She's lied twice, and the guard was obviously trying to bullshit us about being surprised at finding the money and finding the dress in the room. Now, it's clear that the werewolf was in the brothel and was just going to do some brotheling and pass through and go off to do something else with her skulk or whatever. The idea that these guys... All right, there's a lot of prostitutes in this place. They set us up with the one prostitute who turned out to be a werewolf. I'm sorry, not a coincidence. They set us up to go and poke the one thing that was a blender with feet, and we got chewed up, all right? So I'm thinking we're just going to have to... They set us up to get mauled. They still look like prime suspects. I am perfectly willing to try and send somebody in the front door, somebody in the back door, and try and search that establishment next door for more evidence that the murder happened there. Perfectly happy to, but I don't know that we need to divide our attentions to the other brothel at all.
Well, and I think Sabina had mentioned that that the werewolf was trying. They were trying to co-opt her into their cult, their organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably because they wanted the firepower. That makes perfect sense.
So they knew. I mean, to your point, they sent us against the one person they knew that we wouldn't be able to contend with.
Yeah. Also, we're getting silver, right? We're all going to melt down some Cisteria and dip our fucking weapons in them, right?
Do you think she'll be back?
Look at the smirk on Oscar's face. Just, look at the smirk. All
That's
right,
like the
all right,
ultimate metagaming. Don't look at my... I'm smirking because... I've got some of the titans of my industry kind of dangling in fear, which is every keeper's dream.
We're always scared, though. How do you think we write this shit? That's how we write this stuff. We're always afraid. Yeah, we're going to have to tool up some Cisteria weapons, obviously, in case this comes back.
All right. Where are you having this conversation? You can't have this conversation unless you're at the infirmary because they're not letting Manad out with 3 points.
That's correct. That's where we're having it.
We're huddled around Manad's bed.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the Vigilis guys, the doctor says, well, if this is something we should be aware of, then we should have all of the Vigilis with a silvered weapon in case she turns up.
I keep forgetting that we can say that to the cops and they won't haul us off to the loony bin.
Oh yeah, you can actually bring in witches to court and they could be executed if found guilty of witchcraft. So
Right.
it's a whole different ball game in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do clearly have a werewolf problem. Now, whether or not we agree about the murder and the wounds that don't heal, and I don't think we do agree, we all agree there is a wereox problem. Yes?
Yeah, we
Yes.
do.
Yep.
Oh, well, you ran screaming away, Doctor, but before then, you...
Well, but you saw it, right? I mean,
I don't remember what I saw.
Is that why you're drinking to forget? You get just a bottle
Yes.
of wine or
No,
skim-
the sand check, the INT
Right.
check. I said
Right.
that he doesn't remember ever fighting the werewolf.
All right, so werewolf problem agreed.
yes.
Werewolf did not maul the Phoenician.
Werewolf wanted to leave. Werewolf did not
What?
seem to want to go back to work at the
Right.
brothel.
Nope.
The last thing I remember clearly is the werewolf or the woman telling me that they were very eager to have her join them for some reason. And there's enough bad going on at that brothel. You know, I still did not like what I saw in the back, and I think we just need to. I think we need to go full out Vigilis pitchforks and torches here.
Well, yeah. What if we got a cohort of Vigilis and led them to the brothel and demanded a thorough inspection of the fourth floor, the third? It shut them down for a day to be able to vindicate them and show that they're not involved.
Well, the Vigilus guy here is, well, I can summon the commander if you want to make a case for it.
What do you think, fellas?
We're going to look really foolish if there's nothing there. But
Well, yes.
I mean, you did find the werewolf.
But he
Could we
Well, I
shut the?
All it would take is a hard persuade check.
Would we be able to sell the idea that we have to go through the place and check the prostitutes and make sure they're not werewolves?
Werewolves.
How would we?
There is a werewolf problem.
Well,
How could we even tell if someone was a werewolf?
We pretend.
well, I think if we stick them with a needle and they don't bleed, that would be, or we can't stick them with a needle and they, that would be a good start, considering that his gladius bounced right off of her.
We'll heat up a needle and wait a minute.
I want.
No, that's a different genre. That's how you test for coronavirus.
I want you guys to make a listen check.
Uh-oh.
no.
6.
No.
Oh, 21. I actually got the wax out of my ears finally.
Listen.
a lot of
6.
A lot of the people who are sick here with that weird illness,
Mhm.
they keep talking to each other, and they're like, "Do you smell that? I can smell something. It wasn't here before."
I look over at these guys and I'm sorry, what? What did you
What do you
say?
smell?
Since
I don't
smell-
know. It's a scent. It's very powerful.
What is the what's a scent check? Intelligence?
You don't smell anything.
I ask them, what does it smell like? Is it...
One of them seems embarrassed, and they don't want to say.
Oh,
They
you
like-
can tell me. I charm him.
Roll.
29. You guys.
It smells like a woman.
Girl bits.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The scenario's turned vaguely misogynistic.
And they're all kind of looking in Menad's direction.
Wait, did
Oh shit.
Yes, Doctor? No.
How many? I wonder how many of these fine gentlemen have had sex with a newly arrived Irish prostitute recently.
Do you ask them that?
A dozen of them last
I
night.
asked one of them that quietly.
He says, "Why, yes, she was working down by the docks. She wasn't there the next night."
Well, that could be the second night when she went to the brothel.
You mean the same night when four of the wealthiest people in town started having?
We have a
Yeah, that's
we
what
have
I
a
was thinking.
transmission.
Well, we-
Glancy.
We fucking found the skulk, and they haven't risen yet.
Well, you know,
Are you
these
saying
things
this
take
in
up
front of
time.
these guys?
No, not yet. I'll be going, let's talk to the vigilance officers out of the room, because these guys are all Marines and
Oh, yeah,
legionaries.
these are all sailors, Marines. Well, there aren't Marines yet, but they're naval personnel, and
Yeah,
you know.
there's some sort of naval infantry in the Roman Empire.
yes.
Yeah, we should talk out in the next room.
Okay.
The
They
private
actually
room.
bring out the Tribune, and he says, "You have something for me?"
Yes, it's not getting any better. So, fucking drop the bomb on all the fucking information we picked up, including the redheaded fox, Irish prostitute werewolf who fucked everybody in the next room who's sick.
Was this
Except
her
for
plan all along?
I don't know, but she did mention that her skulk would rise, and that seems like maybe she's building a pack over here with her girl bits. Maybe we should, I don't know, chain the men to the bed with
They
silver fucking
should be.
chains.
They should be watched carefully.
We can place them under arrest. We can restrain them, but if they start to turn, I mean, I've seen Menad fight, and you're telling me he didn't scratch her, and she nearly killed him instantly?
Yeah.
If one or more of these men turn, we won't have time to react.
You should run away immediately.
We
No,
should.
We're the Vigilists. We're here to protect the city.
Okay.
We can't run away.
Step
Well,
one. Step.
okay.
now.
They
Step.
go, "Doctor, is there a cure for this?"
Death.
Yeah.
Can I roll? Is there a cure for this?
Roll.
Under a cult?
Yeah, occult medicine. What do you want me to?
Roll a cult.
All right.
Same diff.
No, 66.
You have no idea how to cure lycanthropy.
Here's the
none that I'm
deal.
aware of.
Quick. We're the Vigilas. You guys are the Vigilas. You're going to have chains. You're going to have restraints. Let's get in there and fucking restrain these guys immediately. Then we go get a blacksmith. We get a cauldron. We fill it with cisteri. We melt it down. We make some silver on the weapons just in case they break free or look like they're going to break free. I don't think we have time to silver up the weapon now. Let's just go and quickly restrain them.
I hate to agree with you, but I agree with you. These men should be restrained.
Did you also notice that when the men mentioned the smell, they looked to Manad? Do you believe
Yes.
he may also be tainted?
No, he's coming. They said he smelled like a woman.
That means their sense of smell is getting better. You know, like a fox's sense of smell.
She's coming. She manhandled him.
Yeah.
Her sense on his wounds.
Right.
He's not infected because she didn't bite him, but her scent's all over him.
Two other
Tough-
things to him.
I mean, he did.
Restraints.
He
Chains.
did. The watch commander says, "And then what? We keep them as pets when they
No.
turn."
We
No.
see what happens.
No, if they
Maybe
turn,
they don't
we have.
turn.
To, if we turn, we might have to execute them all, and
If
we might
they're
have to.
if they're sick, and you're sure there's no cure, then the prudent thing to do is the protector of Deva would be to handle this now.
I don't think that's
agree.
I don't think that's a Roman, an un-Roman answer at all.
No.
But the only way you're going to do it is with silver weapons. Do I know that? I mean,
Yeah. Come on.
She seemed afraid of fire.
I don't want to have to burn these guys alive. I really don't. This is not their
that would be
fucking fault.
unfortunate.
And The Romans have, as I understand it, a pretty quick and painless execution method with a stab to the back of the neck. That's the mercy kill at this time period, is a gladish to the back of the neck.
We can make it quick. We can. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to ask your friend to leave. We're going to. Do you have somewhere that you can stay? We'll move him.
Yeah, we do.
Doctor, you'll take care of your patient
Yes.
with span. I would appreciate you guys speaking nothing of this.
Are you worried about getting trouble from the 20th if we find out that we've killed some of their men?
No, I just don't want to start a panic. 4 very rich men are going to meet an untimely end this evening.
That's mandatory as well.
I don't want anyone involved. We'll have a lawyer over to swear you to secrecy. We're going to take care of this. I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. My only question about restraining them first is because they may not cooperate with their executions. And
We'll do that first.
And number 2, whether or not you have to use them, whether or not we have to wait for one of them to turn in order to justify your actions completely, so that there's no chance this is going to come back on you.
A female killed one of the deadliest fighters almost killed one of the deadliest fighters I've ever seen in less than a minute. I don't think I'm going to wait for one of them.
There were probably other people in the bathhouse who saw that happen too, not just us.
Right. This is no longer your concern. We're going to handle this.
So
good. The Dallas police are on the scene.
So as a surgeon, I would be concerned that we would just be executing people, right? So we want to try to help them as much as possible. So he looks to the Tribune and says, "Is there? Do you know of an occultist in town? Someone who may have greater knowledge outside of the realms of the medical?"
I don't want anyone else who doesn't already know to know anything about this.
So you would just execute these men when perhaps we could...
Unless you as a doctor can come up with a way where we can tell who's going to turn and who's not, all of these men have to die. So I'm going to ask you, what do you want me to do? Is there a test? Is there a treatment?
Restrain them and load them up with as much milk of the poppy as you possibly can. We keep them sedated, and we do some research, and we get back to you within hours.
I would agree with that plan. If there's a way that we could save these men, I would like to try.
Make her persuade.
I'll be right back.
Is this my problem or the doc's problem?
Oh,
I guess it was
persuasion
my
not any good.
Either
I'm
one
incredibly
of you.
charming.
Hold on, I'm rolling the die. I have a 0-3, which is awesome.
He says,
or a 30, but it's a 0-3.
He says, I'm going to place them in chains. You have 48 hours.
All right.
If you can't figure out a way for me to cure them, or at least separate the good from the bad, they all have to die.
You're going to need that time anyway to restrain them, to drug them, and to get the right weapon for the job.
Okay. Which leaves you with another matter.
Yeah.
Or you believe another matter. It is not confirmed that this brothel is actually harboring any kind of evil cult to the devourer. Your words, not mine.
You make it sound like we're overreacting. Like, oh, these players, you give them half a clue and they're burning half the city down for no reason, you know?
It's not just this player. It's all players.
Well, I think we should use my plan to see if we can exonerate the brothel or not. We go and with a cohort of men go in, strip the place top to bottom. If there's nothing there, they're completely exonerated and safe. If there's a problem, well, then we'll have a cohort of well-armed men to deal with it.
If that's the plan the group wants, you can talk to the Vigilis and try and make a persuade check to get some of their men to help you cordon off the brothel and do an aggressive raid.
There is another possibility that I would suggest.
Oh, the one with fire bombs?
No.
Oh.
No. The one where we go back to the brothel and say, my goodness, you were completely right. That woman was terrible and a monster, and she infected all these poor guys, and some of your clients, it's just terrible, or something, and she's a monstrous werewolf, and thank goodness you found her for us, and we found the urine and the dress and the denarii, and it's all great, and we're just thrilled, and we don't suspect a thing. Say, can we use our tokens and hang out here one night? And then we just snoop the place.
I like that plan.
It's not a bad plan.
I don't get a vote on the plan, guys. This is all you.
You've had worse plans.
Just wait. The night ain't over.
But do you think that they would they try anything if we were
because
there?
the ladies wouldn't be allowed into the brothel.
That's true.
So there's no way we can. I guess we can't carry Manad in a litter and say, "Could you just put on a show for him since he can't move and he's full of stitches?" Just like bring in some.
Corner.
Is the donkey lady? Is the donkey lady here? Can we do that?
This is a high-end place.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's across town.
The stallion lady. I will.
If you just put me in some villa with some sort of telescope, I'll just watch you from afar.
Actually,
that's probably the best outcome.
If we go as couples, we can get back to the sweet spot in the rear.
Yeah.
I don't know about how you phrase that, but
well,
please don't say sweet spot in any scenario involving a Golinak. I just don't.
Okay, so if you did attend as couples, you could possibly get into the back area, where for some strange reason you think that all of this stuff is fixated.
Yeah. Because
for me, it's just a pair of blind twins tending a shrine of Venus.
Beautiful.
Nothing to see here.
See, that's the only place the couples were allowed to go, so that's where she was killed.
Agreed.
The good news is, able to act, there are 2 boys and 2 girls. The bad news is the only one who can fight worth the damn is half dead. Or actually 70% dead.
3/4 dead, yeah.
Mostly dead.
So unless
he's getting better.
Mike wants to just tough it out, play hurt, walk it off.
If
I want to sing.
Or you can play a different character.
Look, we might need to
nod, or do you want to lawn dart him?
Look, Manad is afraid of no thing. Even with a big bandage on his neck, he is afraid of nothing. And this was, he was the fox woman werewolf thing caught him slightly unaware, but he's ready now, and it'll all be fine. I've got 3 hit points. It's all good. I feel.
Oh, this feels very D&D, first level D&D. I got 3 hit points. Let's get in there.
All right. So
I'm feeling better.
I have dinner waiting, and we have half an hour left on the clock officially.
Calvina is willing to join Manad as a pretend couple to go to the back room if Manad is feeling up to it.
Okay.
Can I fix him up something?
No, this is as good as it gets, dude.
They
make the medicine.
Look, he isn't going to be, he's coming along as moral support, That's all he can do,
I'm thrilled he's still part of the team.
I
thought you were done, man. That's a lot of attack.
I'm just thinking, maybe we need somebody outside the walls with that, the wine bottle carrier filled with lamp oil instead of wine, So when it's time to start throwing those, I don't know, Brythunian cocktails or whatever we want to call them over the wall, then, that's his job.
Do you want to be the ready one arsonist, Manad, or are you going in with the team? I think that's the question here.
Why don't I just, be ready with the flaming brand or whatever?
You guys tell me I don't get a vote in the plan.
No, you get a vote.
No, I don't.
I mean, it's up to you, Mike. Right? I mean, probably we all get horribly murdered. So
I think he said that he fears nothing, so he's willing to go in with you guys. That's all I'm saying.
I'm willing to go in. I'm willing to wait outside. I'm willing to shout a lot. I'm willing to stand there with a burning torch while you've doused the whole place in oil, and then just go. When you all start screaming, I'll just set fire and walk away. Whatever.
I feel good about going in with Manad the Nearly Dead.
All right, who's going with Sabina?
That's either you or me. You seem to have a better handle on things.
All right. Here's what happens. You get to the brothel.
Yep.
And they are closed for business tonight.
Neighbor, you got me.
You're going in.
All right.
They're closed.
They're closed for business this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not something they're supposed to do.
Well, Tina, do you want to climb the gate and open it for us so we can go back to the...
Is the side door open?
No, the side door is
the
not
alleyway.
Open.
Is that door open?
No, it's not.
Is it
Any
locked?
signs of lights?
It is locked.
Oh, it's not locked.
It is locked. Yeah, there are lights on. People are inside.
Okay, now this is a 4-story building, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any buildings of similar height or any buildings that might be able to give us a look over the wall?
No.
No buildings nearby that would give us a look over the wall.
None you have access to easily.
Are you kidding me? I walk up to the house. Hey, who doesn't want to pay their property taxes this year?
Scott, I'm hungry. We have a half an hour left.
All right. I'm sorry.
You're beating a dead horse. You. And again, if you want to climb the wall, open the door. You can get that open and get the rest of the team to the back garden.
Okay.
Let's do it. Oscar's hungry.
Is it possible for me to wrestle up some wine bottles and lamp oil?
Easily.
Done. Now the problem is, of course, do I have all right, I got a, what do you call it, a flint and iron box, a tinder box, right?
Mm-hmm.
No such thing.
As you are heading towards the back, I want everyone to make a listen check.
I was just about to ask if I could.
I don't have a, well, okay.
I wax my ears again.
16
yes. I have bad memories of this from earlier.
The people who make
hush! Listen, did you hear that?
The people who made the listen check can hear that there is frantic activity going on in the brothel.
There is frantic activity going on inside the brothel.
There are people moving around, and you hear furniture being moved, and you hear
oh, the circus is leaving town. Excellent.
Where they're setting up for tonight.
Yeah, is there an entrance from the garden into the brothel?
Yes, but you'd have to go through the Love Hotel rooms.
Oh, you'd have to go through the Love Hotel rooms to get into the brothel proper.
Right.
Okay.
Well, if we're storming, that seems.
Yeah, if we're storming the castle, we should storm the castle.
Yeah.
Because they're up to something. They're closed. I'm on board. I'm officially suspicious of them.
Okay. I need everybody to make a spot hidden as you're moving through the garden towards the back door.
I do make the spot hidden. 35.
Oh, I actually am paying attention for a change.
Fail.
No, I'm on that person.
Those who make it notice that. Actually, the only one who would notice, because you've never been here before, Scott. Sabina, the statue of Venus is facing a different direction right now.
As in, again, facing the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And it's not exactly in the same position either.
Oh, so I will very cautiously creep over there, thinking trap door, something of that nature.
And you find at the base of the statue is an open trap door.
Uh-huh.
I told you they were up to no good.
With a spiral staircase leading down, and a carnal scent wafting up from the darkness.
Lovely.
Is
Pour
there
the
any
oil
reason
down
why I
the
shouldn't
stairs.
just throw the oil down here and then
Yeah.
move the statue back into place?
Yeah. Throw the oil and fire, move the statue, let them burn.
Not a bad idea, actually.
Not a bad idea.
You know what? Let's
Plan
just
F.
go plan F. Let's just go plan F.
It will burn down half of this neighborhood if you set fire to anything.
But it's in the basement.
Not in the ground.
It's in the basement.
It will take a long time for the
If you
building
set
to
a
burn.
fire in the basement, the building above it won't burn.
It'll
Well,
get around to it, but at least
not
we'll have
immediately.
time. At least we'll have time. And
To
again,
flee the scene.
call the vigilists. They'll bring buckets of water. It'll be great.
Of course they will.
A fire on this scale will kill hundreds. That's all. I'm saying.
Well, that would be bad.
It's
Go ahead and go down the stairs.
There have
All
been
right.
famous fires in Roman cities that have killed thousands of people that have
Okay.
raged out of control.
So what you're saying is they're so common it shouldn't bother us.
They're so common, you know how bad they are.
All right. Here's the deal. This spiral staircase is narrow, isn't it?
Yes.
Then here's the deal. Somebody who can move, Sabina or Calvinia, run back, get the vigilists. Get them now. The rest of us are going to stand over this opening when these dicks try and come out one at a time. Menad's just going to cut their throats one at a time and jam up the staircase with their dead bodies. If
Okay.
they
I will tell as Sabine goes to the end of the hall, she sees that some of the prostitutes and one of the guards, they've pulled up a large ox-drawn cart, and they're moving valuables and possessions out of the brothel into the back of the cart. So running to get to the vigilists, it's not going to work because they've got the moving van outside that they're loading.
Hey, Menad, have you ever killed an ox with a single blow?
Oh no!
Ooh, you knocked
lost
him out
him.
of the game. Wow.
Damn, I thought it was a really good idea for
He's
him.
losing consciousness with all the blood loss. He's
God damn it.
There he is.
All right.
I was just asking Menad if you've ever killed an ox with a single blow of your sword.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
While 75% dead.
Well, that's the trick. The rest of us are going to distract the guards and then Menad's going to take out their getaway vehicle.
I'm very attractive and charming. I can try and distract the guards who are loading the getaway goods.
Sabina, go get the vigilists. You distract Menad. Try and kill the ox.
Sabina, you're going to have to make a stealth check to get out of the area without alerting the guards watching the front.
I failed.
I'll push it.
I'm going to push it, though.
Okay. If you're going to fall flat on your face and be right there in the middle of the street if you fail.
Oh, I made that one. 03.
Okay, you managed to, you're sprinting towards the vigilist.
Okay.
All right, Calvinia, it's time for you to be a distraction. The rest of us, I've got a knife. I think the surgeon has a knife, and Menad has a gladius. Let's make steaks out of this fucking box.
I'm taking my trident as well as my gladius if we're going to go all out.
So you guys come out into the street from the side of the building and move towards the wagon with the ox.
Yep. I guess
right.
that's...
Yeah. Where are we going, boys? What's the hurry to get out of town, ladies? Anybody?
Not paying your taxes.
Welcome to my distraction. My name is Calvinia. I will be distracting you.
Have you seen this juggling?
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Oscar's reading things. This is troubling.
Yeah.
All right. For all the charm that you have in greeting them, there's a horribly wounded man with a trident looking at their ox. So it's obvious you guys are moving towards attacking them.
Oh.
Can I just throw the trident at the ox's neck?
That's a brilliant... Yes.
I'll allow it.
I rolled 100.
So he throws this trident.
at himself.
He lifts it and then just passes out from blood loss.
Oh!
The sudden movement.
Fantastic.
All right, so we're gonna move to endgame at this point because the cult has a plan for just this sort of thing.
Oh dear.
And it's very ironic, in fact. Sabina, as you are getting to the Vigilis, they're already banging the gong for a massive fire alert. The cult actually sets fire to the brothel themselves.
Oh,
Using the fire as a distraction, as the Vigilis
Of course they do.
are putting it out. And they've got buckets of lamp oil all through it. So as the whole place goes up like a tinderbox, they use the confusion to escape. I mean, your best fighter is too badly wounded. You've lost the element of surprise. People are like piling out into the street. If you want to charge them, you can, but it's going to be suicidal at this point.
At this, when he falls over, I'm thinking me and the surgeon are grabbing him and trying to haul him away.
You haul him away as the brothel burns to the ground.
Along
It
with
looks like another job done well, guys.
And again, the village
mission accomplished.
The Vigilis spend 2 days putting it out, and hundreds die.
Wow.
But we didn't do it.
I guess yes, we can rest easy knowing that we didn't burn the third place down.
Yeah, we did a good job. Well, we did have to us is we got mauled by a fox lady.
What horrible things do we find in the aftermath in the subterranean layers beneath the statue?
Well, when you go down there, you find weeks later, after all the rubble is cleared away, you do manage to somehow get back down there. You find a small subterranean temple to the Devourer, to Ugolinak, that which lurks.
Some fat dude.
You find 3 bodies dead of smoke inhalation. The twins and the madam. And they were all like clutching each other as they died.
Oh.
So it's a romantic ending.
And it just goes to show that, even experienced Call of Cthulhu players.
Well,
a total train wreck.
when I'm being barked at about we've got to get this done in the next 30 minutes, this is what you get.
You had the doorway to the temple right in front of you, and none of you wanted to go in.
Because we're experienced Call of Cthulhu players. We're going to go down there and get a face full of Ugolinak? Screw that.
You made it too scary.
Actually, Galanak, or where there are multiple suspects.
I don't want to tell you.
Oh yeah, you're so disappointed in us. You're not going to give us the 411.
It's actually a new avatar that I had created. It's not the portly madam. It's the twins. They actually join hands, merge together.
Oh, gross!
And they form a massive, like Amazonian Adonis, androgynous, headless
hermaphrodite.
An androgynous and avatar of Ugolinak with lamprey mouth.
Yeah, didn't kill me.
And I named it the Geminis of Ugolinak.
So
you didn't kill me.
Yeah, well,
they say you're running away.
So setting the place on fire, when my idea of throwing the goddamn Molotovs down there, which you squealed about me not doing, turns out to be the thing we should have done?
No, nobody should have set a tragic fire to kill hundreds of people. You should have gone in there and killed the high priestess and the 2 avatars, and the cult would have fled without burning the place down. In fact, they would have sensed the high priestess dying, and Ugolinak would have killed them all for failure. You could have cut off the head of the stake.
Yeah, well, like, because that's what usually happens. You kill the high priest, and the god just steps on them like slugs. That never happens. They just vote a new priest. Okay, maybe with a Thakwa he steps on everything, but
the priest.
I mean, I don't know. There's a dead avatar and there's a dead high priest. I say that was not the plan. The cult. Why aren't the cultists being punished for burning up their priest and their avatar?
Oh, they're not being punished. The cult got away clean.
But wait a minute.
Well, not with their priest.
They're
Yeah, I was
not in
about to
Deva
say.
anymore.
The idea that if we killed the priest, the cult would have been squished by the god. Well, the priest has died and the cult's doing great. I don't get
It's
this. Is not
because the cult is the one who killed their high priest. This is an internal matter. It's not an external failure.
Oh, I see. I get it.
This was an executive decision that we need to hire upper management, and everybody moves one place up.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the difference between.
Had you guys come in and screwed them up, that would have been the entire cult. It failed in the eyes of Ugolinoc. But enacting this desperate escape plan so that the cult can live to fight another day, that's acceptable loss.
Okay, that's cool. Fine. That's right. I'm really not complaining. I am just giving you a hard time.
That's okay. I will take that.
It is not about being disappointed.
Fellow keepers at this caliber, I will take that.
I am not.
I do think if you had made character choices that you had 2 meat shields instead of 1, you might have been more inclined to go down those stairs.
Oh yeah.
Had Menad not completely almost died.
Was there, Oscar, is there any kind of non-combat resolution to the scenario?
We could have had the Vigilis be the meat shields for us.
Yeah.
The least amount of combat is eliminating the High Priestess and the Avatar. The Avatar does not want to flee. The Avatar is actually refusing to leave the shrine. So that's the opening you need. Otherwise, the cult, as soon as their cover is blown, they try and flee to another city.
What about all the
as for
guys at the who were being chained to their beds? What's the outcome for them? Do they all die?
The infection rate is about 90%. I think 1 of the 12 doesn't become infected. You could have tested by rubbing silver on their skins and see who broke out in a rash.
So is there a plausible way that if you befriend the werewolf fox lady instead of attack her, you can actually send her and her minions down to do all your dirty work and
no,
not go into
she's
combat?
here because she hates Romans. She's here to spread her curse through the ranks of as many Romans as she can. She's actually brought here by the Irish pirates that raided a few weeks ago. So she's here almost as a biological weapon against the Romans.
How very Bran McMorn. Yeah, that sounds very Robert E. Howard.
Well, I'm a Howard guy. I came to this through Howard.
Yeah. This is smelling very much like Worms of the Earth. Except
we can't say that because then we'll have to pay royalties. I hope everybody had a good time. I'm sorry you didn't have the big heroic ending, but you can say you stopped the werewolf, the Hibernian werewolf's plot to spread lycanthropy through Deva.
Yep.
Well, that's fair to be proud of.
And you did flush out the Ugolinoc cult.
And they're not in Deva anymore. So, job well done.
Mission accomplished.
It's not your fault they're already in another city setting up, but...
Well, for another day.
Oh, yeah. And we found out that the wife was dead. So
they'll remember you.
That's right. The case was solved. The wife died.
Yeah.
I mean, good job.
And now we've got a condo in Londinium.
Her body was found in the underground temple in a pit of dead bodies being eaten by beetles.
Lovely.
Cool.
Well, not
No. They're not from Chester. They're from Liverpool. How many times have we been over this?
Wow. All right.
I hope this was. I wrote in 4 days.
I
hope you guys enjoyed it.
Fun.
No,
Thanks, Oscar.
It's awesome. I had a ball, and I know that players if they had 2 days to do this, they would enjoy it even more.
Yeah, but I mean, we're scattered through 3 different time zones, so the fact that we all got together for 4 hours is miracle enough. I would have loved to have done this over 2 sessions and let you guys just completely explore every possibility.
And I got to tell you, I was really looking forward to going to their neighbors and saying, "Hey, who doesn't want to have to pay their taxes?" And we'd spy on the brothel from a house next door.
All you would have seen is them packing and then trying to leave.
Yeah, and then we'd call the Vigilis, and it'd be cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Can
you're
we
welcome.
get
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thanks,
John,
everybody.
can we get in to
Thanks,
see how
everyone. I'm signing out.
All right,
Okay.
bye.
Bye, Jeff.
Adios, Mr. Morrison.
Take care.
Bye bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And then there
Yeah,
were four.
I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Vac on
See you later,
Dios.
Scott. Yep. All right. Well, I want to thank you for putting this together. This was a lot of fun. I know when you get a lot of big personalities together, there's a lot of like push and pull, and some people are more quiet, and there's a lot of kind of talking over. But it was fun. It was interesting, and I figured we were all going to die. So the fact that we didn't, thumbs up.
Although, if you'd have cornered the werewolf and pressed the issue, the fact that everyone ran the minute she came out saved most of you.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice. And if you had a choice, what would you have chosen?
I probably would have run, or at least backed off anyway.
If you look at the stats on a werewolf, those things are death on a stick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, going up against a cult with 5 people, 3 of them who are personality people, is when I saw the mix of character choices, I'm like, this is gonna be tough. But
yeah. I thought about changing after you posted that, and I was like, well, the surgeon's gonna be super helpful. Like he's good at one thing, really, but like that one thing is gonna be super helpful.
and that when we needed you most. Well, sand checks are sand checks. That's the great equalizer.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I thank everybody for showing up to watch as well. We had a lot of people in today. We did forget to mention at the beginning we were doing this as a charity game for Extra Life. There are links in the show notes. There was links in the chat. So if you're so inclined, if you want to throw a couple of bucks at Extra Life, it's a great charity. We did have a couple of donations come in while we were playing, so thank you for that.
And if you haven't checked out the Britannia and Beyond Kickstarter, it is running now. We have 15 days left. You too can set fire to British cities and kill hundreds of people in murder hobo scenarios in your home campaigns too.
Yep. And we do actually have a playlist on our YouTube channel here as well, with Oscar running a mini campaign for us. There was 3 different scenarios that we ran. So that is also on YouTube. So if you're still kind of on the fence because you're like, wow, you guys really fucked this all up, and I don't know if I really like it, we've got a couple other scenarios. You can check those out as well.
I think it was that your main fighter was half dead.
Yeah.
And you were all terrified. Which I guess that's good, but maybe I sold it too hard.
I see everybody else knew what was going on except for me, because as a player, I've never encountered that. So like I made the Cthulhu Mythos check, but I'm like, I really don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, this is a Ugolin cult, and they can be dangerous. The whole wounds that never heal thing, I find absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
And apparently everyone else did too. Hence burning down several square blocks of the town.
Yeah. It happens.
It happens a lot in this game. But this was fun. It got my mind off the Kickstarter for a little bit. Hope it put the Kickstarter in people's minds a little bit. And I hope we raised some money for, a children's hospital charity, gamer-based, Yep.
Definitely worthwhile cause.
All right. I hope people enjoyed it. Got your mind off the state of the world for a while.
Yep.
All right. Later.
All right. Take it easy.
We just sign off here. Leave studio.
Yeah, I'll do post-show stuff if you want to jump out, and yeah, that's fine.
No, you can close it. I'll hang a bit.
Okay, cool. I just want to thank everybody again for checking it out. It was a really fun game. I'm glad everybody got a chance to come by and listen in and donate. Like I said, we also have a sponsor for the show. It's Birds of a Feather Coffee Company. There's a link in the show notes to take you there. You could also go to tinyurl.com/legendary brew. It's a nice, easy drinking medium roast. I don't know, it's got notes of this and whatever. It's roasted to order. It's not sitting somewhere in a bin. If you use the code LEGENDS10, you're going to get 10% off your order. Shipping is always free. If you go to birdscoffeecompany.com on its own, he also has 3 other delicious blends. The Night Owl blend is fantastic. That's a nice dark roast. That was my preferred drink before, got to drink your own brew, legendary brew. And then we also have a Patreon up. So if you like this, you want to throw a couple of dollars at the show, that'd be great. If not, we're going to do this anyway, so you're stuck with us anyhow. But again, thanks for checking this out, and we'll catch you next time.